Hello, and welcome back or welcome to Books and Crannies.
A book lovers podcast.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Sarah.
And this week is the first episode after we finished the freaking ACOTAR search.
I'm so excited to talk about something other than friggin' Cassian and Nesta.
I know, but I kind of miss them already.
Reese and Feyre.
Stop talking about them. I miss them.
Stupid Elaine.
God, it eats. No, I really love that series, but it feels good to be done.
It does.
And y'all, today we are diving into Hidden Pictures.
By Jason Rekulak.
Yeah, chapters 1 through 15.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I had a lot of trouble not reading anymore.
I did too. This book sucked me in.
It was very good.
It is
very good so far.
It's so good.
I'm very much enjoying it. It feels like we're reading a horror movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a horror movie that I would enjoy.
Yeah.
Because it deals with, spooky. I mean, as horror movies do. I won't say too much until we get there, but dang.
I know it.
The first picture that popped up was like, oh my god! If you remember what the first one is.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get to it. I am jumping the gun here.
Yeah. The very first picture?
Yeah. Maybe not the very first.
No, I want to look at it.
Maybe not the very first. But it's in the
one's
first
like
handful.
A bunny.
It's in the first handful. The first time that it's kind of spooky.
Oh, yeah. I think it's the last one in the first group of pictures.
Yeah, it sure is. But also the first one is this. And I'm like, is that not sus too?
Right.
Anyway, we really are not giving you any context. And it's going to be kind of hard to talk about pictures. We're going to have to describe them to you.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But yeah, that one I was like, I showed it to Ethan. He was like, no, no thank you. But we should get into it because I really want to talk about it.
I know. We've been holding off talking about it all day because I'm like, I want it to be genuine on the podcast.
Yeah, we do this most times. ACOTAR, I think, is less difficult because we've both
read it and talked about it already.
But that's when we would say something and be like, oh, shit, I can't say anything.
Yeah.
But it starts out with
grab a freaking snack and a drink.
And a blankie. And get freaking cozy, buckle up.
Yeah.
And really buckle up.
Really.
This one is kind of twisty-turny.
Yeah. Spoopy.
Spoopy time, USA. It probably won't be spooky coming from us, but
it's going to be
fine. And don't do anything loud.
Yeah.
If someone's mowing the lawn,
put on headphones. Go yell at them and tell them to quit it.
Yeah.
Who mows their lawn at this hour?
Whatever hour it is for you. For us, it would be a weird time to mow your lawn, for sure.
It's dark.
It is, yeah. But anyways, let's dive in because I'm ready.
We are
ready. It starts off with a girl.
Yeah.
Mallory.
Yeah. She's going to a medical freaking
experiment. It's at Penn State.
Trial.
Medical trial is the word.
Yes. Thank you.
You said it.
I did. You're welcome.
Yeah. And she's there because it earns you money, and she's very much addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
She's doing drugs while waiting.
Yeah. Which caught me off guard for some reason. I just wasn't expecting a drug addict.
Yeah. She's drug addict, and she's only 19.
Yeah.
And she's there because she wants to make some little spending money.
Yeah.
And
gotta buy drugs somehow.
Right. But also does not know what the experiment is.
Right.
Or whatever they're doing.
Right.
The trial, I suppose. And when she gets called in, man, this is weird. And I have so many questions about it because they haven't said anything in this first section.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, and before we go into her going in, she's watching things that are happening. And notices that they're not doing any screening questions for people. And so she's like, cool, I can get high.
Yeah.
So she gets high before she goes in.
Yeah. I wonder...
Pops a bunch of pills.
I feel like that has to play a part in the events.
Yeah.
But no, it may not, because later on.
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's I feel like with this medical trial, it's pretty suspicious. One, that they're bringing, it's, I think, just women.
I don't remember.
I don't
specifically.
either. And they don't have a very intensive screening process.
Yeah, they don't take your temperature.
They don't really care.
Which, I mean, why would you?
It's not a medical examination.
We're going into it,
But this experiment, y'all, is weird as shit.
Yeah.
She walks into this room and there's a lady and a few dudes sitting with their gazes turned down. They're not looking at her at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady tells her, so, what's going to happen here is I need you to close your eyes.
Well, they put on a blindfold.
Sure, yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sleeping mask or whatever.
Yeah.
And at random intervals, these dudes here are going to look at you.
They're going to look at you. And you got to raise your hand when you think someone's looking at you.
Yeah, every time. And keep it up for as long as you think they're looking at you.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to do that for 5 minutes. And then we might ask you to do it again.
Uh-huh.
And you ready? And she's like, I mean,
I guess.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, but okay.
It's weird.
Quick, easy buck.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Quick, easy buck. And she does it one time.
Uh-huh.
You know, raises her arm.
Yeah.
But then they make her do it twice more.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, what the heck do they tell her, Sarah? That's what they say? I really don't remember that.
And then they let her go. So, no.
Goodbye.
Well, the lady tells her that she's, like, the only person that got almost every single one correct.
Yeah, she got, like, 97%.
She's, like, 97% correct on her test.
On her hand raising.
Yeah.
Feeling the gaze.
Yeah.
She mentions, like, or maybe this is later, hearing, like, a noise, too.
Yeah, like a high-pitched noise.
Which was also a signal to her that people were looking at her.
Weird.
Yeah. And the lady goes on to say, you know, like, will you come back? And because you're the first person who's actually, like, been able to do this.
Yeah.
Will you come back? And we'll do a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And we'll pay you.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, $20 an hour. And the woman's like, bet.
Yeah.
And gives her the contact info.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Well, she gives the lady her phone number.
Mallory does?
Yes.
Or does the lady give?
No.
Okay.
She gives the lady her phone number and then sells her phone. So she, like, never gets a phone call because the money they gave her wasn't enough and she needs more drugs. So.
Yeah. And she, scraps that.
Yeah. So then
That's
a little while down
weird.
the line, she, like, goes back to the university to try to find them. And everyone's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Which is bizarre.
Very.
One, the whole experiment's weird. Like, why, like, it was,
Creepy.
like, gaze perception or something is what she started formulating as a name for it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't exist now. Like, she can't find it in the future. And
yeah, she's,
what
like,
was
tried
it for?
Googling it and...
Like, what are they trying, what conclusions are they trying to make here?
Right.
And what are you trying to weed out in people who can do it?
Mm-hmm.
And her being the only one, like, you'd think that they would have latched on to her more, like, somehow found her in some capacity, but they're just gone.
Yeah.
So
it's
that's very weird.
Ominous and creepy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I really don't like it. I feel like
either.
there's some weird motive behind it, and it better come up again because I'm like, I need explanation. Tell me more.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
it's very interesting. But then we flash forward a couple years. And,
I have the hiccups, y'all. I apologize.
The worst. I hate the hiccups. But then we flash forward a couple years.
Yeah.
She's like 21.
Yeah, she's got a sponsor. She's sober.
She's sober. Has been for 18 months.
Yeah.
His name's Russell.
Mm-hmm.
That's her sponsor. And she's been in what she calls a 3/4 house.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite a halfway house because they can, like, come and go as they please. And, you know, she's doing the things. She's getting better, working on herself.
Way to go, Mallory.
Russell seems cool.
Yeah.
He seems like, you know, a sassy guy, but nice and caring.
Yeah, and he's like a big fitness buff.
Yeah, he's on a like training schedule for her.
Yeah.
Gives her all sorts of weird conditioning and shit.
Yeah.
Making her run.
Which is probably good for you when you're like recovered.
Yeah.
Recovering.
Yeah.
You know, having like a schedule that.
Yeah, it does something that isn't drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeps you busy. Both mind and body. Are you good?
Yes.
Super. I don't know what I was going to say, but yeah, weird. But anyway, Russell, like, connects her with a job opportunity.
Yeah, he's like, by the way, I got a nannying job for you.
Yeah. And
which is weird to me.
How
does he know these people?
I feel like they probably told us, but I don't remember.
Maybe.
I think it's like friends or a friend of a friend or something.
Sure.
But it's a man and his wife, and the guy does something for work. I don't remember.
I don't
But the lady, the mom, is a doctor. Who works with addicts or like previous addicts or something.
Sure.
I think.
Okay. I believe you.
I feel like that comes up a couple times. But Russell's gonna, like, drive her down to the interview. Mm-hmm. To make sure she's okay and gets there okay.
Yeah.
And when they get into the town that it is, it's, like, Stony Brook. Mm-hmm. And it's very, like, perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, white picket fence.
Mm-hmm. Very gentrified, likely. A bunch of wealthy white people, if I had to imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just cute.
Yeah.
But also, like, seemingly too perfect. It gives me a vibe that I'm like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, kind of
like,
creepy.
This town's got some secrets.
Yeah.
You know? There's something a brewing.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But she goes into the interview.
Yeah.
And the dad isn't there.
Ted.
Oh, well, hey, first, Teddy, the little boy.
Who she would be nannying.
Opens the door before, like, she rings the doorbell.
Yeah.
So she thinks.
Yeah.
And he comes and answers the door and is, like, creepy a little bit. He's
like,
weird.
Yeah, he's like, you must be Mallory or something.
And then he just runs up the stairs.
He just leaves.
And leaves her.
And she's like,
I don't know
is your
what
mom
to do.
here? Like, what's up? And kind of, like, lingers at the door, trying to ring the doorbell again. Come to find it does not ring.
It doesn't ring. Yeah.
It's
so
broken.
How the hell did he know she was there?
Yeah, what's that about, Teddy?
Creepy.
Why? Why did you know she was there? Unless he was, like, looking out a window or something.
That's very possible. If he knew she was coming, he's probably excited.
Yeah, that too. He seems like a very smart kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then she meets Mom.
How old is he? He's like 4 or 5?
4 or 5, yeah.
Okay.
I think he's 5.
Okay.
And then she meets Mom, Caroline.
Yeah.
Who... Okay. Caroline is, like, almost immediately sold on hiring Mallory.
A little too much.
Too quickly, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's suspicious how fast Caroline's like, yeah, so then when you come back, like, when you move in, like, already making plans for the future with Mallory.
Yeah.
And doesn't ask her any interview questions. Essentially just watching how she interacts with Teddy.
Yeah.
And she's very good with him, and, you know, he loves her right away.
Yeah.
But, like, why is she so gung-ho immediately?
Yeah, I don't know. I have, like... so many fucking questions that we can talk about a little bit later.
Yeah. I wonder if other nannies or prospective nannies, like, were pushed out of the job. Like, they felt uncomfortable eventually and left or something.
Yeah,
or even in the interview, like, felt something amiss and said no thanks.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that's part of it. If Caroline's like...
Yeah, she's
You're
like,
the only
we need
one
someone.
who seems okay. I don't know. Yeah, but Caroline is, like, almost immediately like, yeah, so anyway, we'll set you up and, like, it'll be great. But then...
the dad comes home.
Freaking Ted.
And he is not sold. He's not sold. He's real suspicious of her because of the drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they know that she's a recovering addict.
Yeah, they know her history.
Yeah.
She did do babysitting and stuff growing up, so it's not like she has no experience with children.
Right.
But, like, he's very suspicious and asking hard questions. And
yeah. And, well, and he, like, sends Teddy away. He's like, go up to your room, dude. We gotta talk. We're adults.
Yeah, this is so personal. And he asks her, like, do you know any other languages? Have you, like, traveled? Are you this and this and that? And she's like, no, dude, no. Just no.
Just no.
I could take care of a kid, though.
I can make sure your child doesn't die.
Yeah. And Caroline's like, relax, Ted.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's perfect.
Shut your frickin' mouth, Ted. And proceeds to kind of, you know, say whatever. We're going to go show her the little house that she'd be staying in. Because there's, like, a guest house on the property.
Yeah, which is creepy.
Well. Yeah, it's, like, a little tucked into the woods. They live in a very, like, woodsy, there's a forest behind their house.
Yeah, yeah.
And she shows her this little... used to be shed.
Yeah, it's like a tiny little cottage.
But it's got a bedroom and a teeny bathroom and a teeny kitchen.
Yeah, it's like a little studio.
And she could live there.
Yeah.
While she nannies.
Yeah. For the summer.
Yeah.
Or no.
Yeah. And then she's hoping they'll keep her on after the summer's over.
Yeah.
But she's like, this is pretty cute. And then Ted shows up. And it's still kind of weird.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm definitely not getting this job. Like, she can tell that he's, like, referring to a list of prospective applicants. He has, like, a folder.
Yeah, well, yeah, and... he's, as he's asking her questions, she'll, like, answer, and he, like, puts a big X on her resume.
Yeah.
Like...
relax.
Being kind of a D-bag.
Come on, Teddy.
We forgot to mention, though, when Russell dropped her off, he, like, gave her something from the glove box.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all, like, ominous and mysterious. She's like, I don't... it was something I hoped I'd never have to see.
Or, like, use leverage in getting this job.
Yeah.
And what was it, Sarah?
But she has to freaking use it.
She tries.
She tries. Anyway. Yeah. She's like, listen, Ted.
Ted?
I'll prove to you that I'm freaking sober and take this drug test right here.
You can test me anytime, every week.
Yeah, I'll buy the tests even, dude.
Yeah, with my freaking money.
So...
And Ted's like, see, the fact that you have to do that is problematic. Freaking Ted.
Freaking Ted.
But it's also, okay, I'll say that soon. But, like, he's like, shucks her off.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever. Yeah. You're still not my choice.
Yeah.
But as she's getting ready to leave, Caroline and Ted are, like, arguing over this in front of her. Uh-huh. And making her feel weird. Uh-huh. And she's trying to convince Ted. Or maybe she's hanging out with Teddy while they're doing it. I don't know. Nonetheless.
Yeah, I think she's hanging out with Teddy. And they're, like, off in another room. But she can hear them arguing.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Hold up.
Holding.
In the first interaction with Mallory and Teddy, didn't she see some of his artwork? And this was, like, the first time that she saw it? Because the mom's like, you know, he wasn't really an artist until we moved here. And since we've been in this house, he's really into drawing. And it shows her like, a few pictures that he's done recently. And it's, like, you know, seemingly harmless. There's, like...
Yeah, the first picture is a little goat.
A goat. But also...
But it's, like, a kind of creepy goat.
Right. And that paired with the last picture, I'm like...
Yeah.
I mean, what do goats represent, friends?
So we got a goat.
A goat.
A little boy, seemingly a little boy in a weeping willow.
Yeah, which is outside their house.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Little birds. 2 little birds in a bird bath.
2 little birds in a bird bath. Just hanging out being birds.
Uh-huh.
And then it moves on to... Okay, this is Hidden Pictures, guys. There's lots of pictures in it that we're going to have to try to describe to you.
Yeah.
And then it moves on to... Teddy, presumably, out in the sun. There's a hot air balloon. There's a little bear and a bunny. And then
I also, in the Weeping Willow picture, there's a little bunny. And we know that there's bunnies in a lot of pictures in this section.
Yeah.
And so, I just wanted to point that out.
There are bunnies repeatedly.
There's tons of bunnies.
But also, the goat is sus.
Yeah,
I'm
for
still
sure.
stuck on the goat.
The next picture after the sun and the bear and the hot air balloon is Teddy riding a bunny.
A bunny! Repeated bunnies.
Yeah.
But then, guys, the last one, this one's a lot, okay?
It's real creepy.
It went from, like, happy, I'm with bunnies in the sun, and a balloon, haha, and a seemingly harmless goat.
Yeah.
Even though goats are also related to demonic,
demons.
Satanic crap. But the last picture is Teddy, smiling.
Yeah.
He's all happy. But next to him...
Standing next to a tree.
Yeah, on one side.
And on the other side, dude.
It looks like
the lady from The Ring.
For sure. The one who crawls out of TVs.
Yeah.
It looks like her. She's
got black eyes, black gaping mouth.
Black long hair.
Long black hair, long black dress.
She looks like bad vibes.
Her fingers reach all the way down to her kneecaps.
That could be a 5-year-old mistake. Or she has really crazy, creepy long arms.
Long arms.
I don't know. But that's the last picture sprinkled in.
Yeah.
And Mallory's like, interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like Caroline at some point is like, oh yeah, Teddy's got an imaginary friend that he draws.
Yeah. She's like, I meant to put that one away.
Don't look at that.
Sorry, that's Teddy's imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Her name is Anya.
Anya, his imaginary friend.
Yeah.
And he didn't start drawing until they moved into this house. Mm-hmm. Sus. I feel like I would have red flags. Just from that drawing alone.
Same.
Because
I might have been like,
what the dang heck? I mean, I know, like, imagination, sure.
Sure.
But that just seems, like, out of the scope of possibility for a kid to conjure in his mind.
Right.
You know?
Right.
The creepy ring chick.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think about every haunted, scary movie ever with a child, and if they ever draw, it's like, you know, demons.
Yeah.
Come on. And Caroline kind of brushes past it real fast.
Yeah, she's like, this is his imaginary friend. Anyways, let's go look at something.
Yep. But then, anyway, going back to at the end, when she's getting ready to leave, she's saying,
Oh, hang on.
Oh!
Sorry, I just peeped one of my tabs on this same page.
Oh, yeah, I'd see what you're going to say. Because I have a tab, too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mallory asks Teddy if Anya's with them now, and he's like, no, silly. And she asks, will you see her later tonight? And Teddy says, I see her every night. She sleeps under my bed so I can hear her singing.
The singing.
Creepy.
Yeah. Under my bed so I can hear the singing.
Yeah.
What's she singing, man?
I would like to know.
She's like, oh, for the longest time. Ha, ha. That's what she's singing.
Got it, yeah. That's probably the one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, come on. But anyway, after all that's said and done, she's seen the little guest house.
Yeah.
She does all things. But then she's listening to Caroline and Ted, like, argue about this.
Yeah.
And goes to leave. And Caroline, as she's leaving, says, I'm going to work on him. I'll convince him. Mm-hmm. And then Teddy comes. Yeah. And, like, gives her a picture.
He gives her a little picture of him and her.
Yeah. And it's
holding hands.
And it's very similar to the one with him and Ring Girl.
Yeah.
Like, she replaces Ring Girl.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, cute. And I'm sure it gives the vibe of, like, Mallory could replace his creepy-ass imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
And I think the mom says as much, too, because she's like, just give him a little time and, like, he'll get so used to you being here that he'll forget all about Anya.
Yeah. And he starts kindergarten soon, and they're hoping that he'll make friends over the summer, and maybe one of them's Mallory. But that's, like, their parting interaction. Yeah. And then Mallory leaves. And she goes to like a little cafe or something. And Russell's there. Even though she was like, go home. Like, I'll be okay. I'll take the train. And he's like, I thought you might come here.
Yeah.
And he asks her how it went. And she's like, terrible. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Because of Ted. And Russell's like, well, little did you know. They already called me.
Freaking Caroline called him.
Yeah.
So obviously they know each other.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she called Russell and basically said that Mallory has the job.
Yeah. In the time that it took her to leave the house and get to the cafe.
Yeah.
So there was a weird hard switch all of a sudden in Ted.
Which I have big questions about.
Me too. Because then, they have their dinner, her and Russell.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm so proud of you. And then sweet. And very shortly after that, within a day or two, she's moving in.
Yeah.
And when she gets there, Ted is a different person.
Yeah, he's so nice to her.
Why? I feel like his exterior went from very, like, hard-ass, I'm gonna fight you on every end.
Yeah.
And then this one interaction of Teddy, making a picture without a demon. He's like, bet we should probably hire her. And so I have questions. I guess maybe as we go on. I just feel like the parents are sus.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I agree that maybe we should move on and ask questions later. Because I don't want to,
jump ahead. I mean, you should have read the first 15 chapters. But, then we're going to, I don't know. Either way.
I don't want to spoil anything. But in theory, anyone who's watching has read this. So.
Hopefully. But we can come back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back.
I'm just saying, parents are sus.
For sure. Especially Ted.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. They're both weird.
Both of them, for sure.
There's a time later where Caroline, like, rubs me the wrong way. Like, there's something really off about her for a second. And they seem to, like, flop back and forth between being, like, weird as hell and, like, friendly and jovial. And I'm like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
But anywho.
Yeah.
She moves in.
She moves freaking in.
Yeah. And they give her these, like, rules.
Yeah.
About what she can and can't do.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, you could take them on whatever adventures you want. You could, no junk food, and that's loose. Like, you can make them cookies, but, like, don't eat feeded chips and stuff.
Right.
They have just a set of rules, and one of them is also, like, no talk of religion at all.
Yeah.
Because science.
No red meat.
I think Ted is a scientist or something.
Yeah.
I forget what his actual job is.
He is a scientist.
Yeah. And so they're very much anti-religion and only want science taught, which Mallory is like a Christian.
Yeah.
She's religious.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, whatever. He's their kid.
Yeah.
I'll just do what they say.
I'm not here to push God on this child.
No. No. But, yeah. They just, she moves in. Everyone's happy.
I'm with you here, friend. Well, we have some more pictures.
Do we?
Yeah, so we, go through a more normal morning routine.
Oh, yeah. So she starts getting into the day-to-day with good old Teddy.
Yeah.
And they have lots of adventures in the forest, and there's a swimming pool. Mm-hmm. And he is, drawing pictures of their day, and it's very cute.
They have, an hour of quiet time, and he usually draws.
Yeah, he's just in his room drawing. She, takes a nap on the couch sometimes, or does whatever she wants. And the first one in this is just he and Mallory walking through the forest.
Yep.
And it's cute, because as they do this more often, they start, naming all the little paths through the forest,
mm-hmm.
and,
houses that they walk by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very sweet. Teddy seems like a sweet kid.
It is sweet. The second one is, in the pool.
Yeah. He's
one
got
of
a snorkel.
Under there with a snorkel, and the other one's up top. I assume that's Mallory.
Top. They're vibing.
But I have questions about the next one.
Yeah, me too. So the next one is Teddy standing in front of the house.
Yeah.
The sun is smiling.
It is. There's another hot air balloon.
Another hot air balloon. But then...
I forgot. The hot freaking... Remember hot air balloons, too.
Why?
There's also...
Oh, yeah. The hot air balloons.
No,
but then there's
seemingly
trees or something on the left side of the house, but they
have
like
faces.
Ghosts.
They look like ghosties.
They look like little ghosts.
They're
There's
ghouls.
2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
2 ghosties.
2.5.
Yeah, maybe that's a ghost. I guess it maybe has a mouth.
Yeah.
But it looks like little ghosties floating up the side of the house.
I'm glad that that's what it looks like to you, too, because I'm like, am I just crazy? Am I making shit up in my head now?
No. Those are definitely looking like ghosts. Ghosts. They have eyes and mouth.
Yeah.
What the heck's that about?
So that's friggin' weird.
But they look like, cute, friendly ghosts.
This little flower down here looks like a gingerbread man holding a knife.
What? Oh, yeah, I can see it. Yeah. I don't know if that's Wait, no. That probably is intentional.
It probably is. I feel like there's little tiny things in each picture, and I've looked at all of them and, tried to find little tiny things.
Yeah.
But I can't find little tiny things in all of them.
I wonder if in the swimming one before Ghost House.
Yeah.
This is, reminiscent of the whole situation.
Maybe. Yeah. But, what's
Kinda
up with these?
vibe.
Are these just towels?
I think so.
Why is one rectangle and one's a square?
I don't know. He's a kid.
Yeah, but,
he's 5.
He's drawing demons and shit. But also the hot air balloon.
There's no
bunny in either of these pictures either.
No bunny, even though there was bunny in every picture from before.
Yeah.
But the first picture in this set doesn't seem to have anything, at least that I picked up on.
I'm not seeing anything either.
But yeah, there's weird things in every picture. And the gingerbread with the knife is making me laugh now, because I definitely did not notice it. But it definitely probably has something to do with what's to come.
It could.
I think it does. It looks very much like a person with a knife.
Yeah.
Foreshadow.
For sure. Anywho.
He's drawing her pictures. He's real cute.
He is. I actually love Teddy.
Yeah.
Even though he's a little spooky kid.
Yeah. But then she goes through the rest of their evening, and every time Caroline gets home, she offers Mallory dinner, and Mallory just wants time by herself, so she doesn't.
Yeah.
And she's running a whole bunch.
She's training.
Trying to train all the things that Russell tells her to.
Yeah.
And Ted seems, she's talking a little bit about her interactions with him these days. And he's way different and, very talkative to her. He, talks a little bit about business with her and asks for her opinion about things.
Yeah.
And seems just way more interesting and interested in her. And then... freaking Teddy.
She also, after, explaining her interactions with Ted, says that the only person who really gives her any trouble in her new job is the person that doesn't even exist. It's Anya.
Yeah. There's issues with Teddy's behavior because of Anya.
Because he'll, do something he knows he's not supposed to do and be like, well, Anya says,
that I could, or told me to do this and that.
Anya says that your rule is stupid.
Yeah. And Caroline kind of brushes it off as, like, you know, it's his scapegoat. We can't entertain it at all. Like, he just is trying to avoid consequences, and, you know. And Mallory's like, I don't know about all that. Like, it feels like more than that. And so she starts asking Teddy about Anya. Mm-hmm. She's like, what's your favorite color? Like, tell me about her.
Yeah.
And Teddy's like, starts answering her questions. And she is trying to make him realize that Anya's not real.
Right.
And she's like, does she want a cookie? Is she here with us? And Teddy's like, I know she's not here, Mallory.
Yeah, he says, I know she's not real.
Real is what I meant, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, you don't have to prove it.
You don't have to prove it. And she's like, okay, well, listen. My friend had an imaginary friend, too.
Her little sister.
Little sister, Beth.
Yeah.
Had one, too. And you can pretend. Like, we pretend that they're here, but they're not.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Her little sister's imaginary friend was named Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia. That's a hell of a name. It definitely sounds like a name a kid created.
Absolutely.
But then they're sitting at the table, okay? And he's, like, been drawing while they're having this conversation.
Yeah.
About the whole Anya situation. And when he, like, gets up to go up to his room or something.
Yeah.
She looks at the picture, and this one, guys.
It's so freaking creepy.
It gives me the wheelies.
Yeah, me too.
Gives me the wheelies.
So, it's Caroline and Teddy sitting, not Caroline, Mallory and Teddy sitting at the table.
Eating cookies.
Talking. With glasses of milk.
Yeah.
And under the table, y'all, laying on the ground with her arms spread out.
Like, flat on the ground.
It's freaking Anya.
Ring
with
girl.
With her creepy ring face.
Really
and her
long,
creepy
dark
ring
hair. Gaping black eyes and mouth.
Yeah.
No thanks. No thanks.
Yeah, and she's just peering out at you, the reader.
Yeah.
Like,
She just...
Look at me.
Yeah.
Creepy.
So she, to Teddy, was there while they're having this conversation.
Yeah. Even though he's like, I know she's not real.
Well, and when Mallory asks him, like, is she here now sitting with us? He says no.
Yeah.
So maybe he's like, no, she's not sitting with us, but she's definitely crouching under the table like a weird fucking demon.
Yeah.
But I won't say that because, you know, it's fine. She's not real.
And while she's asking him questions, he, like, jumps a little bit. I'm going to read this little paragraph here.
Okay.
I guess, Teddy says, and then he shifts in his chair like he has a sudden pain in his side. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to make number 2. And that's when he gets up.
Yeah.
And she looks at the picture. Which makes me wonder, like...
what did Anya do to get him to stop
hurt
talking?
Him? Yeah. She, like, hurt him to shut him up.
Yeah. Anya's already real bad vibes.
I was like, hey, dude,
you gotta poop. Shut your damn mouth. You gotta poop. Tell her you gotta poop. Well, like, if he's talking to this manager friend.
Yeah.
But then, after Mallory's like, the damn hell, what's all this about?
What the dang heck?
They go on to the next day.
Yeah.
And they're swimming. Mm-hmm. And eventually Mallory's like, listen, I'm cold. Let's go.
Yeah.
And Teddy starts asking her about what happens to people when they die.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, you know, what happens to the person inside the body? He's not so worried about the body.
Wait.
What?
When he asks what happens to people when they die, she looks over at him and he's just staring down into the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of that picture where he was underwater.
At the bottom of the pool.
At the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if? Oh, shit.
What if what?
What if the swimming pool is a hot spot? Like where something happened?
Yeah. Could be.
Because it was like added later. I think they talk about the swimming pool having been added by the previous owner later on or something.
Dude.
Interesting.
Well.
Or not. I don't know.
The tool shed.
Yeah.
Turned Mallory's living quarters is supposedly where the...
Yeah, I know. But I feel like there's 2.
Right.
I feel like there's more than one.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Poops.
Anyway,
Okay.
I did not think about the swimming pool until you just read that.
Yeah, I didn't either until I looked at it.
Yeah. Yeah. But he is asking about, like, the spirit, not so much the body.
Uh-huh.
He wants to know what happens to the person inside the body. And
Yeah.
she's like, you gotta ask your parents about that. And he's like...
why can't you tell me? And she's like, I don't know the answer, dude.
Yeah, and he's like, is it possible for someone to die but stay alive? Like, can they stick around
and
after
she
they've
asks
died?
if he means, like, ghosts. And he's like, no. Not scary.
Yeah. He's like, does any part of the person stay alive? And she just keeps avoiding his question because, like, that's a lot. You should definitely talk to your parents about that shit.
Yeah.
And then they get back in the pool. She's, like, avoiding all this. And a landscaper arrives.
Yeah.
And has his big
He's
old
like
lawnmower.
Yeah.
And Teddy's excited.
He is. He's like, we gotta stay out here and watch.
Yeah, Mallory's like, we should go inside. It's loud. And he's like, no, you gotta watch that shit. And I love that.
The landscaper does, like, wheelies
I know.
in his mower.
It's really extra. It's very cute. Like,
It
is. Catering to the 5-year-old. But I'm like, damn. That's a lot, buddy.
Yeah.
It's funny, though. It's very cute.
It is very silly.
And... his name's Adrian, the landscaper. After he puts on his show for Teddy, he comes and chats for a little bit.
Yeah, and Teddy's like, I have a picture for him. I gotta go get it.
Yeah. He's drawn pictures for everybody. And it's freaking... what did I say his name was? Adrian?
Adrian.
On his mower. Now I need to look. Is there anything weird about it? I mean, his mower looks like a monster with teeth.
It does look
but
like
it certainly
monster.
is a mower.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything weird about it.
Adrian's wearing a hat and sunglasses.
Yeah.
I don't know, these trees look a little questionable.
Maybe little ghosties. I feel like this one's a pretty mild picture.
Yeah,
I don't see any hidden things. And it's just a cute little gift for Adrian.
Yeah.
Which is sweet.
It is. It's very cute.
And then, Adrian gets called away.
Yeah.
They carry about their day.
Mm-hmm.
And, they... oh, yeah, okay. And then they are doing their, outdoor showering.
Oh.
They're rinsing off after the pool.
They sure friggin' are.
She sends Teddy into the house, and the neighbor, Mitzi, approaches.
Frickin' Mitzi.
Frickin' Mitzi. And she
harps on friggin' Mallory for wearing a bathing suit by the pool. How dare.
She starts implying that Adrian's gonna, assault her.
Yeah.
Don't show that much skin, he'll come get you.
Yeah.
And also implying that he's, nefarious. And I'm like, relax, you know nothing about him.
Yeah,
it's probably because...
assuming because he is...
She's assuming because he is a person of color and, is a landscaper and stuff, he has different intentions.
Yeah, which is absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And this old bitch needs to mind her own damn business.
Well, I did tell you, it's probably a trash-ass, weird, not perfect, rich white people zone. You know?
Yeah, she literally goes on to say... But when these Mexicans come through, you need to show a little discretion, a little common sense for your personal safety.
Ugh, relax, Mitzi. Nasty. But then Mitzi goes on to tell her a history about her little house that she did not know.
Yeah.
What the heck is it, Sarah?
Well, friggin', there was a lady.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long ago. Does it say?
8 years ago.
8?
80. I'm sorry.
I was like, 8 doesn't sound right.
80 years ago.
80 years ago. The frick is her name?
Annie.
Annie, thank you.
Yeah. Annie Barrett.
Was murdered.
Well, okay. The entire shed, which is now Mallory's house, was covered in blood.
Yeah.
But Annie was missing. Annie was gone.
Right.
So they didn't know where she was. Mm-hmm. But they assumed from the blood that she must have been...
the blood.
Muck ducked.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well... shit, thanks for that.
Right after World War II.
Yeah, it was 80 years ago. Caroline says it at the bottom of the Patreon. But when Caroline gets home, Mallory kind of talks to her about it.
Yeah. And warns her to stay away from Mitzi, because Mitzi's like a druggie.
Yeah, she smokes
like, you gotta use
the devil's lettuce. And she, reads people's tarot cards. She, does readings and weird shit, you know? She's very spiritual and takes Brandos into her house and does stuff.
Yeah.
And smokes all the marijuana.
Yeah.
And yeah, Caroline's just very much like, don't talk to her much. Mm-hmm. And she says if you're uncomfortable in the little house, you can always move in here. Like, to our guest bed. Room. Teddy would love it.
Yeah.
And Mallory's like, no, I really, like having my own space. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't take her up on it. But that night, she goes for a run. And
why is she running at night?
It's her only time
we forgot to mention when she first moved into that Caroline gave her like a little pepper spray thing.
Like stun gun.
Stun gun. Yeah, you're right.
The flashlight.
With flashlight. Yeah. And told her, like, Mallory was like, well, why do I need this? Like, no crime happens here. Mm-hmm. And Caroline told her that something happened a couple weeks ago. And so, like, watch your back. I just wanted to mention that because I feel like it might come up again later.
Yeah. The reason that Caroline thinks she should be armed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But now she has a stun gun with the flashlight.
Yeah. Anyways.
But after her interaction with Mitzi and talking to Caroline about it, like, she goes for a run and is thinking about this story. And feeling, like, super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And as she's running, when she gets back, she, like, goes in. She's been talking about how she hears a lot of sounds around her little house because she is, like, in the trees. And she imagines there's animals in the trees brushing against walls and whatever. All of these sounds that she's sort of growing accustomed to. But then as she's going to bed, she's hearing, like, tapping on the wall behind her bed, thinking it's the tree.
Yeah.
And she has the willies. She makes sure the door is locked.
Makes sure.
And then freaking,
she starts to hear a little high-frequency noise, like a mosquito buzzing in her ear. And she waves it off, thinking it's a mosquito in her ear. Mm-hmm. But then it comes back. The noise comes back.
Which is the same freaking noise that she talked about having heard during the gaze perception scientific trial.
Yeah.
So she feels like someone's watching her.
Yeah. She says, and it's the first night I feel like someone might be watching me.
Ugh, I just got chilies.
The first night.
Just saying.
First
night is important to note. I don't know what the heck I was trying to say, but here we are. But
it's getting kind of spooky.
Yeah, she's getting bad vibes now.
Yeah.
And like, part of me can be like, okay, well, you heard a ghost story, makes sense.
Yeah, and you're like in the woods, you're very secluded.
Yeah, you're kind of far from the house, the main house.
Yeah, and it's a new environment for her. Like, she hasn't been there very long yet.
And now you're hearing ghost stories.
Yeah.
But that paired with the 5-year-old child neighbor drawing demons.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And bunnies.
And
hot air balloons.
Bunnies and hot air balloons.
And little gingerbread men with knives.
Yeah. No thanks. Yeah. It's a lot. A lot to take in.
Yeah.
But it's a weekend, and she talks about how she really spends her weekends, like, on her own. Uh-huh. The Maxwell's is their last name, always invite them to, like, do their activities. But she's like, I just want to give them family time. And I'll do my own thing. It's fine.
Yeah.
And she runs into Caroline in one of this, and she says that Teddy has, like, peed the bed.
Yeah.
And is real embarrassed by it.
Yeah, and she asks her not to say anything to Teddy that she knows about it. She's like, he'll be too embarrassed.
Yeah.
She's like, I won't say anything, don't worry.
Don't you worry about it, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But then, it's a day she spends with Teddy, and they go walk through the Enchanted Forest for a bit.
Yeah.
And then they come back, and it's time for his quiet hour in his room.
Yeah.
And Mallory's very curious as to what he's up to in there.
She is. Yeah.
And she goes and, like...
She goes to snoop a little bit. And she overhears Teddy seemingly talking to himself.
Yeah. It's a one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me what it says?
If you want me to.
Sure.
So, Teddy says, maybe, but I... ... I don't know. Clouds? Like, big? Puffy?
Interesting.
I'm sorry, I don't Stars? Okay, stars.
Yeah.
Lots of stars. I got it.
Who are you talking to?
Dude.
Why do they want stars?
I didn't realize this the first time reading this because we didn't know that the freaking... But she's... Oh.
Man, people on YouTube, I hope you got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, well, I think that soon we see another picture. So keep those stars in mind.
Okay, but even seeing the picture, I don't think it clicked in my head.
Yeah. I mean, it is like a weird... It's the next page.
Right
yeah. But it is very like... It's... Yeah. These pictures start getting real creepy real fast.
The first one was literally such a jump scare for me. The first creepy one. Because I was like, they're all so happy. And then I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. They're nice little happy 5-year-old boy drawings. And then the ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has this weird conversation.
Yeah.
Mallory's like, yeah, okay, it's weird. And she's tempted to talk to him about it, but then, like, the phone rings and the school that he's going to go to is calling. And she, like, means to take down a message, but Teddy comes down with a new drawing. And she, like, gives him a snack.
She gives him lunch or a snack or something.
And
he asks for green bell peppers.
Yeah, green bell peppers. And she takes a peek at his drawing. And guys, they get real spoopy real quick. Yeah. So, one, it's night.
First of all, I would not call those big puffy clouds.
There's clouds, but they're not big and fluffy.
They're not big and fluffy.
But there are a lot of stars.
There are a lot of stars.
And it's nighttime. And,
what the heck is that?
What is it? What? Is it the daughter?
Is it a tiny person?
I mean, it kind of looks like it.
Oh my God, and there's a tiny gingerbread holding a friggin' knife again.
There
It's the exact same one.
It is the exact same one. But
dude.
Yeah. And, okay.
We're skipping over the most important part.
Showcase. So in this one,
what is that?
There is a lady being pulled by the feet. Her hair trailing behind her. Same sort of dark eyes and mouths.
Yeah.
Ring vibe. Being pulled by a dude. Who looks blank.
Looks like he got a mohawk.
A little bit. And he's a little bit spooky.
Yeah.
What else were you pointing out?
What is that? Is it just
I think it's a little tree.
Or is it a demon?
I think it's just a little tree. But nonetheless, a woman's being dragged by her feet.
Yeah.
And her hair's trailing behind her.
Very clearly
unconscious.
Unconscious or unalive.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice, Teddy.
It's really... I mean, the stuff of...
An artiste.
Artistic prodigy.
But man, maybe not yet.
Dude.
Creepy. Yeah, creepy as hell.
Yeah. And she asks him what it is.
Yeah, she's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And he says it's a game.
Yeah.
A game that he plays with Anya, where she
acts out a story and he draws it.
Acts it out.
Yeah.
And she's like, so like Pictionary? And he's like,
oh,
no, you
she
stupid.
Can't play Pictionary.
But I'm also like, how is she acting this out? Okay, unless she's like showing him the image in his mind.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
But he's playing a weird game with Anya, guys.
Yeah.
And it has produced a picture of a woman being dragged by her feet, seemingly unalive.
Yeah.
What the dang heck? And she asks him, like, did the man hurt Anya? What happened here?
And he says, and he's like, I don't know.
I friggin' know.
It's just a friggin' game, dude.
Yeah, I don't friggin' know. And so she goes to, like, put the artwork in the file that friggin' Caroline has for all of Teddy's stuff, and he sees her do so, and she's like, that one's only for you, like, it's not meant for Mom to see. He gets really, like, upset. He doesn't want his mom to see that one.
I don't think this is where he gets upset, actually.
Well, it says that one's not for Mommy and Daddy. Anya says she wants you to have it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that getting upset.
Okay, whatever. Danielle. He just, like, stops her from putting it in the folder that the parents will see.
Yeah.
That's weird, too.
Yeah.
It's a secret, and Anya wants you to have it? Anya does?
Right.
Why does Anya want her to have it?
I don't know, dude.
What's Anya's what's your motive, lady?
It's creepy, dude.
It's getting creepy, dude.
So then, Mallory starts to, like, try to research a little bit, Annie Barrett. And doesn't really find anything helpful.
No.
The internet has no record of her existence.
Yeah.
Which...
That's weird, too.
Is really weird.
Yeah. Because why wouldn't they?
Right.
Especially a murder in a small town.
Yeah, and everyone seemingly seemingly knows about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least Mitzi
has heard the...
Well, I guess
yeah, we don't know yet that it's, like, urban legend in the town. But we learn later that it is. Because Adrian knows about it, too.
Yeah.
And he says that, you know, in high school, like, we all knew to... Stay away from that tool shed.
Yeah, Mitzi also talks about how she, like, was dared to go and stand on the porch and, like, couldn't do it. And, yeah, it is very much a urban legend. So why would there be no record?
Right. Unless
it's not real. But then why would everyone collectively know that it is?
Or maybe they got the name wrong. Because she's just looking up the name.
Annie? Or Anya?
Annie
Barrett.
Barrett.
I don't know.
I would say Barrett.
I think I said Barrett.
Actually matter.
It doesn't matter. She doesn't find anything. And as she's going home or whatever, Russell calls her to check in.
Yeah.
And he is asking how it's all going. And she says it's going good, you know. Mm-hmm. He sounds real tired, though. He's mildly worried about her.
Yeah.
And he asks if she's having glitches or, like, lapses in memory, forgetfulness.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I wonder if we're thinking the same thing. Do you...
You can say it.
I just wonder about Russell now.
Okay. So, also, we didn't talk about Russell. She had talked to Russell about the experiment that she did, or the scientific trial.
Yeah.
And he was like, that definitely didn't happen. There's
no record he tried to, like, convince her that...
Your drugged out brain probably just created it.
Yeah.
It wasn't real.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what's leading to this line of questioning.
Yeah.
And so now, Sarah, I'm questioning everything.
I mean, same. I have been this whole time.
I'm like, okay, is all of this actually happening, or is she mentally ill?
Or is she still a drug addict and she's just high as fuck? And it's all like a delusion that she's making in her mind. Like, the job isn't even fucking real. She's just passed out high somewhere. And this is all a dream that she's having.
That's really interesting.
Or was Russell one of the freaking people part of this experiment?
Dude!
And this whole fucking thing, I literally have the chills right now.
Right after you said
and this whole fucking thing is just part of this fucking experiment.
It's like a fabrication.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe
and everyone is in on it.
Creating a false reality for her somehow.
Yeah.
If that...
I have so many chills right now.
Yeah, because why would there be no record of a missing person who is suspected to have been murdered?
Right. Why is there no record of this scientific trial that she was a part of?
Yeah. And why can't she, like, find anything more about it? And why would Russell try to convince her that it's all, like, a fever dream?
Right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's a crazy theory.
Yeah, it's really... Because, okay, what if this whole fucking town is just, like, full of actors?
What if it's giving very much that movie vibe? What is that movie? You made me watch it with fucking Harry Styles.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I don't remember it's called.
I don't either. I can't remember. I can't think of it.
Don't worry,
darling. Oh, my gosh,
darling.
too much pressure.
Don't worry, darling.
Don't worry, darling.
With Harry Styles and Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh.
That movie's crazy, guys. If you haven't watched it, you
guys need to watch that.
It's a crazy movie.
So good.
But what if it's just like something like that, like some sort of simulation,
or like this big
artificial, environment,
or what I was saying.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Everyone in this town is just a fucking actor, and she's just like a scientific experiment that they're all fucking actors, and like. Even Teddy is in on it.
She did also say that with the experiment, once people, like, went in, they never came
out. Yeah. Where the hell did everyone go? Again, have chills.
I quite literally did not go down this thought process
I didn't either. This is why I love talking to you
now.
about books. This is why.
Holy shit.
This is why we started this fucking podcast.
Facts. Facts. But holy crap.
Yeah,
that is,
dude.
like, blowing my mind right now. Because, like, I know, or I have known that experiment is important in some way.
Absolutely.
Like, there's something about it that we need to remember.
Mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're coming up on another part where she's like, I hear this mosquito buzzing. And maybe that's the only reason it's mentioned, because, you know, she knows that someone is watching her for sure. However, I like our theories better.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't wait to read the second half.
I cannot wait to finish this book.
I'm tripped out about this now.
I know.
No. And why is it hidden pictures then? Right. Like the title. Are they hidden in this fake reality? I'm shook.
So, yeah, I don't...
And I guess he starts hiding them. But, like...
Well, yeah, and my interpretation of the title was that there's going to be, like, a tiny little thing in each picture.
Okay.
That's, like, a clue...
Yeah.
...to what's actually fucking going on.
Yeah, which Now we need...
Chills again.
We're going down a tangent, but it's also tripping me out. Oh, okay, we need to be even more critical with our picture scoping now.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, I feel like that's something.
Yeah.
And we just unraveled the entire mystery.
We solved it.
We don't even need to read it. Just kidding, I have to.
I have to
but
know.
Also, what a trip.
Dude.
Okay, anyway, we should tell you what is happening in this book.
Yeah, so she's in her cottage.
Are you...
having this conversation with Russell.
I'm still thrown off about... Are you glitching? He asks her if she's glitching. Or having any
lapse. Are they drugging her?
Right. Or is it like a simulation?
Yeah.
I'm just... Anyway, carry on. What were you saying? I'm sorry. I know.
I have so many goosey bumps. So while she's talking to Russell on the phone... She says that she hears the mosquito whining, and she, like, slaps the side of her face trying to get it, because she can, like, see it also. But she slaps it. Well, she said earlier that, like, she can see the little tiny gray speck, but it's always just out of reach.
Okay, yeah.
So, interesting. So she slaps the mosquito and then looks at her hand hoping to see a bunch of mosquito guts, and her hand is clean.
Yeah.
So someone's obviously watching her.
Uh-huh.
Whether it be watching her in the stimulation, watching her in the simulation, or
a ghost.
Who freaking knows at this point?
Oh my God. I don't know what my reality is. I'm shook by this newfound discussion of information.
Yeah. See, this is why I love talking to you about books.
Me too. Now my brain's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's so many little things that, like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't have connected certain things if I hadn't already read other things.
Yeah.
And so going back and talking about it rather than just, like, reading it and never thinking about it again.
Yeah, that's true.
Is, like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And, like, we noticed different things.
Yeah.
Which is also crazy and helpful. Any freaking way, dude. After that conversation with good old Russell, who might be evil, I don't know.
I got a weird vibe from him from the very beginning, honestly. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I didn't trust him for some reason. And now I'm extra questioning. Yeah. Because he's the one who got her this job.
I know. He set it up. Yeah. And at the end of their conversation, too, he, like, says he's going to switch up her training that she's been doing.
Yeah. Because she's tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that includes, like, swimming exercises because they have a pool.
Yeah. That seems to be a hot spot for demon energy.
Maybe. I don't know. Those pictures might suggest so.
Yeah.
But she starts trying to do them, and it's nighttime, as per usual. And freaking Ted, Ted,
comes out to swim, dude.
And he's like, you can have that side of the water, I'll have this. And she, like, asks him for advice. Because he's a good swimmer.
Yeah.
And he tells her a couple things, like, you know.
How to breathe while you're swimming.
Whatever.
He's like, breathe less.
Yeah.
And you'll be faster.
And that sounds weird, but, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And he, at one point, like, comes over to her and touches her shoulder, and it, like, lingers for too long.
Can I read a quote really quick?
Yeah.
Just because it makes me giggle. This is the one quote I flagged. Maybe one of two. I don't know. in this whole section. But she's, like, watching him swim. And she says, he moves like a shark, barely making a sound, while I thrash and flail like a drunk cruise ship. Like a drunk cruise ship passenger who's fallen overboard. It just made me giggle. I wanted to share it.
I love that. Okay.
But anyways, he touches her.
No, he doesn't touch her shoulder. I lied to you. I just looked through the page just a little bit.
Okay.
She gets up. She starts getting out of the pool and has like a little tattoo on her hip.
He looks at her ass.
That she's been trying to hide. And he's like, swinging like hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, it was a really dumb mistake. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And he tells her Caroline has a tattoo she doesn't like, whatever. And they hear a sound in the forest.
Uh-huh.
And
she says something about it to him, right?
She says someone's out there.
Yeah.
I heard them walking around earlier, because she did hear footsteps earlier when she was at the pool alone.
Yeah.
In the forest. It wasn't Ted approaching. She heard something else.
Yeah.
And he kind of brushes it off. He says, probably a rabbit. And there's another crack, and it's loud. Sounds way more like not a small animal.
Yeah, it's like a human-sized crack.
Or no, there was, okay. The first crack is human size. Second crack is definitely actually rabbit. Okay, she's like, now that's rabbit. And he's like, maybe it was teenagers. I'm not sure these woods are I'm sure these woods are popular with high school kids.
First of all.
The rabbit.
First of all.
Yeah, okay.
Wouldn't you be a little more suspicious of people on your fucking property?
Yeah, right.
And more concerned about it?
Yeah. He's like, oh,
he's like, just brush it off.
Whatever.
No.
Why would you just allow randos to be snooping through your forest?
Yeah.
Scooping up the field mice and bopping them on the head. But then the rabbit, okay?
The rabbit.
So hear me out.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland. This is coming out of left field. But it is such, like, a sigil in that movie of being, like, taking her down into insanity, essentially.
Yeah.
Why is a rabbit continually popping up here?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And he says it now. Ted's like, it's just a rabbit.
Yeah. And there's a rabbit in almost every single fucking picture.
Yeah. I got chills again.
Interesting.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
It may not mean anything, but it just made my brain go to that. Like, the white rabbit leads Alice into, insanity.
Wonderland. Yeah.
Yeah. It is the guiding. Anyway.
Very interesting.
Very freaking interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Ted and Mallory go on to talk about Mitzi a little bit, and he's like, really, you should steer clear of her, you know?
He says that basically he thinks that she's dealing with, like, all of the randos that come in and out of her house. They never use the front door.
She does a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Might be dealing pot.
Plus she likes the devil's lettuce. So.
And the devil's pot. and also has lots of people in and out.
Yeah.
And then Caroline comes stomping out.
Yeah.
She's grumpy.
Uh-huh.
She says,
oh, hang on. We just kind of brushed past the fact that Ted was creepy as fuck. Looking at her ass as she's getting out of the pool.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, so you like hockey? He, like, mentions it. I think I said that, but we didn't touch on it more.
We just didn't talk about how fucking creepy he is.
Yeah, he lingers about it. Ted is kind of a creep, it feels like. There's been some moments. I told you, the parents are sus. I said that from the beginning.
Well, yeah, I know. I want to know what the fuck changed his mind so quickly.
Yeah. Why did he change his mind so quickly?
Why did he change his mind so quickly about her?
I feel like I think what the author wants us to think, anyway, is that it was the sweet interaction with Teddy. Him giving her a picture that showed them together and how good she was with him.
I guess.
I think that's like what we're led to believe. But it was very very quick switch. Yeah. And in all of their interactions since she started this job, he's completely different.
Completely. He's an actually different person.
Yeah. For our audio listeners, we are giving each other lots of eyes. What is it?
Dude, this book is wild.
Do you think they replaced Ted's avatar?
They could have.
Or
maybe the dude who played Ted's avatar got fired because he was too grumpy.
Russ was like, we need her to have this job, you fuck. Or, I don't know. Ted is suspicious. Caroline's suspicious.
Caroline is suspicious as fuck.
Yeah, I was going on to say, Caroline runs out all pissed.
Yeah.
Because the phone call that Mallory took the other day.
To tell her.
Because she got distracted. Total. She got distracted by the cryptic-ass crazy picture that Teddy left and forgot to, like, tell Caroline that the school that he's signing up for called.
Yeah. And they're on this, like, super strict deadline about getting him into school. And it was the picture of Anya laying under the table, right?
No, it was one of her being dragged.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
fair.
I would have forgotten, too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Caroline's pissed about it, kind of. Like, she's, like, definitely mad, but trying to play it cool. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And she walks... There was some stuff that, like, made me feel weird here. She's talking to Ted after Caroline storms away, and he's like, she says it's an honest mistake. I wrote down the phone number, but I was distracted by something Teddy gave me. And I'm as desperate to make things right. I start describing the drawing to him, but Ted just talks over me. He seems anxious to get back to the house. I can see Caroline's silhouette in the sliding glass door watching us. So Caroline just goes up and is creepily standing there watching them. I just imagine it being creepy. Yeah. Ted feels like weird anxious vibe now all of a sudden. Yeah. Like, is Caroline his fucking, what is it when, like, a person is undercover? Handler?
And he's so unbothered about the picture of...
Yeah, he doesn't
that his 5-year-old child drew of a body being dragged through the woods.
He doesn't even talk about it. Doesn't even acknowledge it.
No, he just brushes it under the rug.
Uh-huh. So they obviously know what's going on with Teddy. Yeah. And are trying to pretend like it's not happening. Yeah. Or know what's going on with Teddy and have something to do with it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, now that we've talked a little bit about all these fucking crazy theories, I'm going to tell you my theory that I had earlier, which now has probably changed completely because Wonderland. Yeah. I thought that maybe Ted was also, like, possessed by Anya. Mm-hmm. And maybe the mom was too, like, but all at different times. Yeah. And so, like, anytime Caroline would lash out, I was like, oh, that's Anya, clearly. Yeah. But now I'm like, maybe not.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, too, especially as you get a little further into the section. Or just, like, there's more to the house. I feel like in so many paranormal movies, they go on to, like, the whole house is bad vibes. And, like, it affects all of the people in it. Yeah. And so I definitely was picking up on that, too, or thought it might be that way. Yeah, like, either they're just getting bad juju, or they are Anya. I don't know. Yeah. In different scenarios. Now... But yeah, Caroline is ominous, and freaking Ted is anxious as shit and runs back, and as soon as they get in the house, they shut off all the lights and, like, disappear into the house.
Yeah. Which I just took as, like, they're going to bed.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But why were you just standing in the door all weird? Yeah. Come on. Come on.
I wonder if...
What? Tell me what you wonder.
I wonder if Caroline saw the whole interaction and, like, saw Ted checking out Mallory's ass. And that's why she was extra pissy when she came out.
Maybe
and Ted's then stood there watching them because she was like, I'm watching you, Ted. Yeah. And that's why he got all anxious.
Maybe. Or she's his handler. Yeah. I don't know, man. But then, this is crazy, too. Okay? Caroline goes back to her little house. And she locks the door.
Mallory.
That's what I meant. Locks the door and starts hearing those footsteps. Yeah. Like the person-sized footsteps again. Yeah. And they sound like they're right outside her window. Yeah. But they start circling her little house.
Yeah. And she's gonna, like, go out there.
She starts pounding on the wall.
That's right. Like, hey.
To try to scare it away. You're there, you freak. Or, like, acknowledge it in some way.
And then the sounds start happening, like, they start creeping under her house.
Whatever this is, starts digging under the house. And she pulls up the rug. Uh-huh. And there's a fucking hatch door. Yeah. In the floor.
Yeah. To access under the house.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And hear me out. Uh-huh. Okay? She's like, well, fuck that. And I think grabs her stun gun, or maybe doesn't. I don't know. She just decides to look inside. Okay, first of all, Mallory, what the goddamn hell are you doing? Yeah. You silly lady. Yeah. That's insane. Why are you doing that? But then she opens it, And she's, like, hiding behind the door, using it as a shield. And I can read this little quote because I have questions, okay?
Yeah.
This is page 82.
Yep.
And she's looking down. She kind of looks just like black dust and ash underneath the house.
Yeah.
But then the ash moves and the black spots blink, and I realize I'm staring at the thing itself, rearing up on its legs to meet me, bearing ugly pink claws and long, sharp teeth. I scream, a full-bodied shriek that pierces the night. Then I slam down the panel and throw myself on top of it, using all of my body weight to barricade the hatch. And, like, you know, hammers it down.
Yeah.
So then Ted and Caroline come running. They heard her screaming.
Because they heard the scramble.
Uh-huh. And Ted says it's a possum?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a possum?
They hear the noises under the cottage, and so he goes to, like, check it out. She tells them it's a rat. The biggest rat she ever saw.
Uh-huh.
And then, so Ted goes to...
He just, like, goes and checks the outside of the cottage. And he says he found a possum. And it must be that.
Yeah.
And then...
So I kind of do believe it's a possum just because she said it was a rat.
Yeah.
And possums look like giant rats.
Maybe it is in a demon. But why is that fucking hatch door there? Why is there a tunnel 2 set hatch door?
Well, she said it was like the only access to under the house. The only reason the possum was able to get under the house was because there was a hole in the, like, lattice or whatever.
So I guess if you need to get under the shed to do something?
Yeah, like if you...
A little crawl space.
I'm assuming there's plumbing and stuff there that's probably accessed under the house.
I'm
just trying to be logical here.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just feel like the hatch door is something to remember.
It's for sure creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah.
And Caroline...
And what's with the ash and...
Yeah, why is there a bunch of black ash and stuff under...
Yeah.
This little house. But Caroline promptly tells Ted to nail that shit shut.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah.
So at least there's that, I guess.
Yeah.
But what the heck? But then, dude, it's the 4th of July.
Uh-huh.
And Mallory goes for her runs as she does. She, I assume, has the day off. You know, she's not celebrating with the Maxwells.
Yeah.
She's running, and she runs past a house that her and Teddy have named something.
The Flower
Castle.
Castle.
On their adventures when they go and explore. And she's like looking at all the flowers in the front.
Uh-huh.
And who comes out?
Friggin' Adrian.
Adrian comes out. That's where he lives.
He's like, hey, girl.
What up, girl? And she's like, wow, I didn't know you lived here. And it's only a couple of blocks from the Maxwells.
Yeah.
And he, like, brings his parents over to meet her.
Yeah.
And he's looking nice, like they're going off to an event or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? No, I don't want any of this. it's a weird thing to do.
I did not sign up for this.
Yeah. And the parent, well, okay, rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
We never talked about how when Adrian and Mallory were first talking, she, like, lied to him about her past.
Oh, yeah, because she doesn't want, it's embarrassing.
She doesn't want him to know she's a former drug addict.
Yeah, so she tells him she's, like, a athlete at college.
She's a cross-country runner at Penn State.
Yeah.
Which Penn State is the place she went for the
trial.
Yeah. Interesting choice.
Yeah.
And so that's what he assumes.
Mm-hmm.
And his parents come to meet her.
Yeah.
And they're, like, real weird and suspicious of her for some reason.
Yeah.
And she's like, why? Okay. But the mom especially is like... So you're a runner, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's real sus.
Yeah. She does not seem to like her at all. And also just is asking weird questions and asks about, like, what she's studying and freaking what year she is. She asks a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And Mallory tells her that she's studying teaching.
Yeah. And she's like, you mean education?
Relax. And, yeah, I don't know. Sophia is her name. The mom just seems odd. And then at one point she asks her what her favorite flower is. Or no, Ignacio, the dad, does.
Yeah. Who is the Lawn King, by the way? He owns the business that Adrian works for.
Yeah. The boss.
Yep.
And she tells them that she likes the trumpet vines.
Mm-hmm.
And Ignacio's super stoked. She's like, no one ever picks those.
Yeah. She says they look like little orange traffic cones.
Yeah. And they're not much maintenance. And they're called Vitality. I don't know. Hard to control.
Yeah, the mom chimes in and says they're also kind of a weed, a little hard to control. Like sassy about her picking that as as her favorite flower.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, okay, I'm deep in this theory. About Mallory being inside of an experiment.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, are they struggling to control Mallory?
Right.
In this experiment?
Right.
And was that what Sophie's implying?
Seems like it, dude.
Is Sophia in on it? Is everybody in on it?
Yeah.
Who's Sophia in all this?
I want to know if our theory is correct, who in the town doesn't know that they're in the experiment?
Or does everybody know except
for
her?
Is it only Mallory?
Yeah.
And everyone's just fucking judging the shit out of her.
Yeah. Well, the lady in the experiment was, like, very fascinated by her.
Yeah.
And when she said that she, like, heard a noise, too, when she knew they were looking at her, she was like, you heard a noise? Oh, my God, interesting.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she was, like, a weird prized experiment possession.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah.
But any freaking who, they leave. They gotta go do stuff. And Mallory goes back home. And she's, like, watching Hallmark movies and shit. And then she talks about how she, like, has been taking Teddy to the park, trying to get him to make friends. And he has no interest
in he, like, refuses to talk to any other kids.
He just wants to hang out with Mallory.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. And so he's like, let's go home, play Legos, and swim. She's like, all right, okay. But then she gets another freaking picture.
She sure freaking does. He just hands it to her and runs to go get a swimsuit.
Uh-huh.
He's like, here you go, bye.
Yeah.
As if it's not a creepy little picture.
This one is horribly creepy.
It's...
Okay, wait. No. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, questions.
Yeah.
Lots. Well, initially, let's get the big things out of the way.
Yeah.
Anya, I assume.
I assume, yeah.
Is
in a hole.
In a hole.
In the ground.
Looks unalive. She's
mangled.
Frowning. Big frown.
Her neck's at a weird angle.
Uh-huh. And there's a man with a really creepy smile.
Mm-hmm.
Up top.
Same mohawk-looking dude as earlier.
Yeah. He's burying her.
Yeah, he's got a shovel. He's throwing dirt on her.
He's throwing dirt on top.
He's burying that bitch.
Uh-huh. And, okay.
On the right side of the picture, on the right side of the hole.
Are those Trump vines?
They look like hands to me.
Maybe they do. Hands, but they have, like, little bow-tied things.
They do have bow ties. Hang on, let me go read about the trumpet vines again.
Trumpet vines. Orange flowers that just came up, the ones that are growing on the trellis. Remind me of little orange traffic cones. Okay, maybe not. She's a beautiful flower, very versatile and low maintenance. You give her a little sun and water, not too much attention, and she takes care of herself. Very independent. Why are you saying she about these trumpet flowers, brother? Anyway, I could be completely off base here.
Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, well, at the beginning of that chapter, she says, I noticed some new orange blossoms climbing a trellis in the front yard, so I take a few steps up the driveway to get closer. The flowers are so odd and peculiar, they look like tiny traffic cones. And I snap a few pictures with my cell phone.
Okay.
And then she sees
the peeps.
The people.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be reaching here.
Yeah. They really look like hands.
They do look like hands. They're sort of a, cone shape, but they have, like, fingers coming out of them. And
they have bow ties on the stems.
And, yeah.
Or the arms.
I don't know. The way Ignacio talked about the trumpet vines made me feel weird. Who knows?
Yeah, but the way they're climbing flowers, it sounds like, so I don't think they'd be just coming out of the ground like that.
Yeah, I guess they're vining.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway. Maybe they're hands. Maybe
they really look like hands to me.
Trumpet flowers.
But maybe they're just fucking flowers, who knows. But
I don't know.
I don't know. They make me question, though.
I just wonder now about the trumpet flowers. I'm like, is that important? Or am I just reading way too far into them?
I think you might be reading a little too much. Or,
but the way that they're like
you said, how the mom was, like, weird about him.
Well, and the dad's like, she's independent. You only have to give her a little, and then she'll do it on her own.
Yeah.
She. And then the mom's like, yeah, well, they're kind of a pest. I don't know. They just, like, talk about them in a very personified way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? it don't matter. But maybe they're important. So I'll just keep thinking about trumpet vines
Yeah, for
and
sure.
we can move on.
For sure.
But the picture's creepy. Okay? Anya's
Yeah.
being buried.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not good.
So Teddy comes down and he's like, all right, you ready to go swimming? And she's like, hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is this, dude?
Yeah, she asks about the man.
She asks who's in the hole and he says it's Anya.
Uh-huh.
And then, she asks about the man.
He's like, I don't know. And he says that he's burying her in the forest.
Yeah, she's like, is he burying her? He says, in a forest. And she says, why? Because he stole Anya's little girl.
Also, can I have some watermelon?
She's like, sure, but why?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't friggin' know, dude.
But then she asks, like, what else did Anya say about the drawing? And he goes on to say, the man dug a hole so no one would find her. But I guess she got out.
Yeah. Creepy.
Yeah, definitely big creep vibes.
Freaking creepy little boy, dude.
Creepy little dude.
Yeah.
But then, the next day, or that night, the family, the Maxwells, go out to dinner.
Yeah. They invite her. And she's
She
like,
says,
nah, I gotta
run. And she goes and sees Mitzi.
Yeah.
Who, Mitzi's weird vibe.
Yeah.
But she goes in and tells her about Teddy.
Yeah.
And about these crazy-ass drawings.
The drawings.
And doesn't know what to say about it. She thinks that they're connected to Annie Barrett. And Mitzi's like, I mean, I don't know about that, but it's certainly possible.
Mitzi also gives her a cup of coffee, and Mallory doesn't drink caffeine because she worries about her addiction.
It's a stimulant.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the conversation too, because of the coffee, she's itching.
Yeah.
To do drugs, and goes and searches Mitzi's medicine cabinet.
Yeah. And she finds a bottle of oxys in the back of the medicine cabinet and is gonna open them, and then Mitzi knocks on the door.
Well, I think she does open them and it's empty.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But she's fiending a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Kind of sad.
And she's like, I'm never gonna drink coffee again. This is a terrible idea.
But Mitzi knocks on the door.
Yeah.
She's like, you okay in there? Or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, ah, shit, I've been caught.
Yeah.
And that makes her I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, and as they're talking about Annie and Anya, she's like, the names are real similar. I want to know, or I feel like the Anya is somehow connected to the land. And Mitzi says, children are generally more receptive to spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
They're not as guarded against them as adults are. And because Mallory's like, she seems connected to Teddy, and Mitzi's like, well, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But she asks about the parents and, talking to them, and she's like, oh, well, they're atheists. There's no way they'd believe any of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't talk to them about it. Please don't say anything to them.
Yeah.
Really, just don't. She asks if Annie had any kids. She's wondering if, okay. She thinks that Anya and Annie are the same person.
Yeah, because the names are similar.
Mm-hmm. But could Anya or Annie have been Anya's kid?
Or vice versa.
Yeah. But, I mean, they said that Anya's daughter was stolen. Or Teddy did.
That's right, yeah.
So maybe Annie is Anya's daughter.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know.
But then,
I've been thinking this the whole time.
Yeah.
But Mallory's convinced they're the same person. And then Mitzi gives her some history about the house.
Yeah. Mallory asks her about if she knows if Annie had any children.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that already?
That's where my conversation about Annie and Anya came from.
Got it, okay.
Annie potentially being Anya's kid.
But that's when Mitzi goes into the
history story about it.
She's like, that's an interesting question, but let me start at the beginning.
Yeah, and apparently during World War II, it was owned by some peeps, and they lived there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And Annie, that's when Annie was there.
Yeah.
A wife and 3 daughters. It was a guy, wife, and 3 daughters.
Yeah, the owner of the house was named George Barrett.
And Annie is a cousin, so she's not even one of the daughters.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. This is complicated. But she moved into the guest cottage and was there for a while. But she was about your age and very pretty, long black hair and just knockout gorgeous.
Oh,
okay.
So Annie was George's cousin.
Yes. But I feel like prior to this, Mallory, when looking at the pictures, talks about the long black hair and stuff in the pictures that Teddy's drawing of Anya. So maybe they are the same person. I don't freaking know, man.
But I wonder if maybe Anya was the wife of George.
Perhaps. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know.
There's many, many, many possibilities.
There's
here.
so many ways we can go.
These people might not even be friggin' real.
Yeah, true.
And we're gonna sit here
and we're sitting
about
analyzing their life.
Goodness gracious.
But Mitzi goes on to say that everyone was like enamored with Annie and like suitors were coming to the door all the time trying to get her.
Yeah.
But she's like
she's
quiet.
Shy
she doesn't want
to
to do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone learns of her. Word gets around that she's unwed. An unwed mother. Okay, wait. Shit.
She's also an artist. Would go around town sketching.
Annie would. Okay.
So they've got to be the same person.
Yeah, they must be.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, it says that Annie put her kid up for adoption, so she has a kid.
I have a theory.
Anya has a kid.
Yes. We haven't gotten to any of the drawings yet where there's a child watching.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the man that we're seeing in the pictures is George and the kid is one of his kids.
Yeah. Perhaps. Maybe George murdered Annie.
Yeah. He's like, I'm tired of you. Get out of here.
Cousin.
And his friggin' kids sat around and watched.
But then Annie's kid got taken. That was also mentioned.
Yeah.
But maybe the kid in I don't know. Those pictures aren't it. But it says he stole Anya's little girl. The man did. But it also says Annie put hers up for adoption.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's getting a lot.
I mean, Teddy is only 5. He could just be confused.
It's true. But Mitzi then goes on to say that one day, people have been calling Annie a witch in this history.
Oh, yeah.
Saying there's something wrong with her.
Yeah.
And one day George goes to the shed and it's covered in blood from like rafters to the floor. And Annie's gone. She's just not there.
And there's, friggin'...
She vanished.
Yeah.
And they made it into a storage shed since then. And it was called the Devil House from then on out. Like, it then became urban legend for future generations. So there wasn't much that they uncovered about it after that. And then another couple came in, and they were there for 40 years. And apparently they didn't really have any issues.
But they only used it as a tool shed.
Yeah, they weren't messing with the shed. And they start to theorize that because they renovated the shed for Mallory to move in, they like stirred up the spirits.
Stuff. Yeah.
But if that were true, how did they do it right when they moved in? Because they talk about how Teddy, when they moved to that house, started drawing. Or was it like relatively recent that they did that and he's been drawn for a while?
No, I would assume that they
did it when they got
renovations when they first moved in, yeah.
Maybe, and that sparked some things.
Yeah.
But, they may have freaking dug up some spirits by renovating.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when she goes and searches the bathroom.
Yeah.
Freaking Mitzi interrupts and, like, tells her to hold it down while she's flushing.
Hold the handle down,
and she's like, oh, shit,
I have a broken flapper.
Yeah. And when Mallory comes out of the bathroom, Mitzi has a Ouija board.
Yeah.
And is like, so hey, like, we could totally use this to talk to spirits. It's totally fine. It's cool. And suggests that because Teddy seems so attached to whatever is going on, he should be present.
Yeah.
And she's like, absolutely freaking not.
Yeah, I'm not involving him in that.
Not involving him, and I certainly don't want it to get back to his parents. Like, they'll be pissed, obviously. I'm sure. No, don't touch a Ouija board, daughter of mine.
She says, like, no, his parents will be pissed, and Mitzi's like, I'll talk to him, and she's like, hell no.
Absolutely. You're not saying anything.
And
like,
they hate you, so stay the fuck away from them.
Yeah. And before she leaves, Mitzi says, my offer stands if you change your mind, and I pretty much guarantee you will.
Yeah.
Which is a very ominous thing to say, Mitzi. What the heck?
Then she goes back to her cottage.
Yeah, she can't freaking sleep because of the damn coffee.
Coffee. She's like, God damn it, that was a mistake.
And she's, like, worried about, you know, kind of fiending.
Yeah.
Because of the coffee, and it's like, I'm never doing this shit ever again, never not once.
And she says the mosquitoes are relentless that night.
But are there actually mosquitoes?
The only way to quiet them is to pull the sheets up over my head, exposing my bare feet.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
In the first trial,
yeah,
she was successful while high as balls. Maybe being high, or in this case, stimulated by coffee, like, sparks whatever sense it is that she has of being watched or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe she's just now realizing that she's been watched by a lot of fucking somethings.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, she's been getting the mosquitoes still, even as she's been sober.
Yeah, it's true. It seems like more now. More
Maybe.
intense after the coffee, or is it not?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to pull at straws everywhere, and then... What? But then she kind of resolves to, like, stop talking about Annie, to kind of let it all go.
Yeah.
And her and Teddy go on a little outing, and when they come back, he goes to have some quiet time, and she ends up napping. And then they go swimming.
Like, shakes her awake. You're napping again. Yeah.
But she feels better after the nap. Oh, God. And then he gives her another picture.
Yeah, I don't think he gives it to her. I think she just finds it.
Yeah, she left it, like, on the table.
Yeah, he left it on the table face down, and she's like, I don't really want to look at it, but curious.
But when she does, she goes on this little rant to herself, like, I don't care what kind of parents you are, like, this is something that absolutely needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Because it's a really fucked up picture.
It's real fucked up.
Now this one.
Yeah.
Is one, a little more detailed than any of the other pictures.
A little bit, yeah. For sure.
But it's a
very close-up picture of Anya's face.
From the point of view of whoever it is that's strangling her.
Yeah.
And
hands around her throat.
Yeah, her hands are bent at odd angles. She's clearly, dying.
Yeah. Struggling.
Struggling a lot. I'm trying to find any weird...
I am too. I'm, like, analyzing every little thing.
It's
very freaking disturbing,
though, it's very, very disturbing. Her mouth is open wide, obviously. She can't breathe.
Sticking out.
Fighting for it.
Yeah.
And
they're outside in the forest. Like, there's trees behind her.
There's trees everywhere. I don't see anything extra special.
I don't either.
But it's not a good... It's very unsettling, for sure.
I'm curious about these random 3 dots up here.
There's random dots.
What are they?
There seems to be, like, something streaming out of her nose.
Oh, yeah. It's probably blood.
Probably. It's not good, guys. That's a really disturbing drawing for a 5-year-old to leave on a fucking coffee table.
It's a really disturbing drawing to find in general.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And so, Mallory kind of decides, like, last straw, I need to talk to the fucking parents about this. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And they get home. She goes for her run.
Yeah, she's, like, has to really resist the temptation to just blurt everything out to Caroline right away. She's like, I'm gonna go for a run.
Clear my head a little bit.
Settle down a little bit.
And later, after she knows that Teddy's in bed, she starts walking out towards the pool where freaking Ted and Caroline are lounging.
She grabs the 3 most recent pictures.
And she, like, trips on her way out. It sounds like... Okay, so this is weird, too. They talk about a Oh, maybe it's not weird. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. They're talking about a quick dip, and then, like, I'm already relaxed. Should we go upstairs? And they say, what about Teddy? And the other one's like, what about him? So maybe they're just trying to bang.
Yeah. They're like, he's asleep. What do you mean?
Yeah.
He's fine.
Or maybe I'm like, or do they know something's up and wrong with him, and they just don't want to talk about it? Or they're trying to. I don't know. Nonetheless, Mallory's listening on this and, like, trips. Causes a ruckus.
Yeah, she's, like, trying to be quiet and sneaky.
And they're like, Mallory, you good? What's good?
Yeah, she hits her knee on a sprinkler head. Or her elbow.
Yeah.
Or something.
She's
like,
rude.
oh, God!
And Teddy comes and picks her up.
Ted.
Yep. And, like, cradles her like a child. Walks her back to a chair.
Yeah.
Even though she's like, I'm okay, I could probably figure it out.
Yeah. He asks her if she can stand, and she's like, I just need a minute. And he just scoops her.
Yeah. Yeah. And she gives them the paper.
Yeah,
Papers,
they're like,
the
what
most
were you
recent
doing
pictures.
out here? Do you need something? She's like, no, I can wait. I know you guys are trying to go bang.
And, yeah. And Caroline, they look at them. And Caroline says to Ted, this is your fault!
Uh-huh.
Because apparently they've been watching, like, Grimm, or reading, or something. Grimm stories.
Yeah, she, like, shoves the drawings at him when she says it's his fault, and he looks at them and laughs.
Yeah. Of a woman being buried, dragged, buried, strangled.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So funny, dude.
Is that really what happens in the story that you're reading to your kid?
Right.
It's very specific.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like Grimm tales are that.
No.
I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
But, of course, Mallory's like, guys, I really don't think that's what this is. And they're like, yes, it is. You don't know anything. And knows that he's like, she says Anya's telling him what to draw. And she's like, no, he's using Anya to, like, act out.
Yeah.
And Ted keeps saying it's classic Brothers Grimm and, like, nothing to worry about. But then sort of secedes to Caroline, and he's like, you're right, I shouldn't be showing him these things.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, Caroline.
Yeah.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy knows we won't approve of these pictures. He knows it's wrong to draw women being strangled and killed and buried. But if Anya says it's okay, then he's allowed to proceed. He can achieve a kind of cognitive dissonance. So again, she's like trying to say that her child isn't psycho. He's just trying to get away with things.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, dude. I'm so fucking sketched out of all these people.
I know. I feel like they're...
None of this is real.
No, it's all a simulation. I feel like Caroline and Ted, if it is real and whatever, are very much in denial about it.
Absolutely.
Or they're trying to, like, cover it up.
Yeah, or they've known this was happening all along and are just trying to, like, it's okay.
Pretend it's fine.
Yeah.
And Mallory at one point asks her, like, what if Annie and Anya are the same person? And Caroline does not really know what she's talking about.
Yeah. So either they've known this is going on the whole time and they're trying to brush it off and say it's fine.
Yeah.
Or it's not real. Or they're also possessed by Anya.
But yeah, perhaps. And trying to, like, gaslight her into looking the other way.
Yeah.
Maybe. But also, Teddy keeps saying that Anya wants her to have those pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't change my mind about the parents also being possessed.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. If there's possession. Sorry.
Because if Anya is also possessing the parents, why would she want the parents to have the drawings? She's like, I already seen those.
Maybe. She just happens to inhabit multiple bodies at one time.
I don't think it's all at the same time.
Okay.
I just think
well, she's just bouncing between the parents right now. Every time one starts talking, she's like, my turn. And she keeps going.
Maybe.
Do you think the parents, in between their times of talking, are like, what the fuck is happening? Perhaps.
This is a fever dream for sure.
Yeah. But Mallory starts talking to them about Annie, and Ted, like, laughs it off, like, what, you mean a ghost? And Caroline's, it's just a really imaginative, creative imagination. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
And then Caroline starts being condescending as shit and is like, okay, but do you hear the ghost too? Are you seeing blah, blah, blah? Trying to suggest that, like, Mallory's out of her mind or using or something. And she asks about him wetting the bed. And is like, you should be more worried about this. And Caroline's like, I'm a freaking doctor. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, let me worry about my own kid.
And, and then she makes the mistakes of saying Mitzi thinks. And she's like, you're talking to fucking Mitzi about my kid?
Yeah. You showed Mitzi the pictures my kid drew?
And is pissed that she talked to Mitzi first. And she's like, I knew you'd react this way. They're all pissed. And essentially go on to say, like, we appreciate your concern, but, like, it's nothing.
And it's our kid. Let us worry about our own kid.
Just shut your damn mouth.
Yeah.
We're not going to blame Teddy's bedwetting on ghosts. Eat.
Yeah.
But then Teddy's awake. He, like, appears, and he's like, Mommy. And they just send him back. They're like, go.
They're
go
so
to bed.
rude to him.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't sleep. And Caroline says, go back to your room and try again. Ted says, it's late. And then Caroline says, go on. I'll check on you in 20 minutes, but you need to try on your own. He's 5.
Yeah.
Go comfort your fucking kid.
Straight up. Yeah. I'm like, we sleep train my daughter so she can fall asleep independently, but if she needs me, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be like, okay, whatever. You got this, kid.
Rude.
Bully for you. But then fucking Ted outs Mallory to Teddy. He's like, no more pictures of Anya. You're scaring Mallory.
Oh, yeah, because Teddy asked her not to show them.
Yeah, and he's, like, betrayed.
Yeah.
He feels real hurt. You can see it in his face, and he goes and runs away.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Teddy.
Poor Teddy.
Poor Teddy. Poor little guy. I don't know. But Caroline goes in after him, and freaking Ted's like, just, it's okay. Leave all the worrying to Caroline. She's really protective of freaking Teddy.
Yeah. And apparently they, like, had fertility issues, and so they had to, like, work real hard to get him. And that's how he justifies her being a bitch.
Yeah. And she starts thinking about Caroline a little more, and is like, maybe she's jealous of me because, like, I get to spend my time with Teddy, and she has to work, and... maybe that's part of her behavior or whatever.
And again, it's, like, Ted stays with her and she's crying.
Yeah.
And it's again mentioned that he's really anxious to get back to the house.
Yeah. What's that about?
What is that about?
Either he feels really uncomfortable dealing with an emotional young woman.
But it's not the first time. And this is the first time she's been emotional.
Mm-hmm.
He's always anxious to get back to the house. Anytime Caroline has left him out there.
I'm telling you, she's his handler.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. It is weird.
Maybe they have, like, a specific time they have to go back to the house so they can leave the simulation for a while.
Take a break.
Take a report.
Maybe.
To their boss.
Maybe.
About what's going on with Mallory.
Yeah. Maybe they gotta set up the house for the next day for weird shit to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But Ted's behavior is weird as shit.
It is.
And before Mallory leaves, she, like, gives him pictures. Like, I don't want this shit anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want it. And he rips them up.
Yep. And he says you'll never have to see these pictures again.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
We'll see. And then the next morning, after Mallory really didn't sleep well.
Yeah.
Naturally, she goes into the house and apologizes to Caroline. And Caroline's I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I acted crazy. It's been bothering me all freaking morning. I just lost my bookmark.
You dropped something.
Yeah, I sure did.
And Teddy's under the kitchen table where probably Anya's laying there being creepy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a picture of it from before.
Yeah.
Maybe that's her hove. She likes to sleep under the table.
It's her hovel.
Yeah. And they start playing.
Mm-hmm.
And at one
she,
point
goes and apologizes to him, I think.
Yeah, she's like, I'm so sorry. Your pictures don't scare me. Like, I want you to keep sharing them with me. Mm-hmm. And he says, I can't, because my mama said that you're not well and scary pictures could make you sick again.
Yeah.
So Caroline's like, she's a junkie and super hyper paranoid after all these drawings, even though they're creepy as fuck, Caroline. Mm-hmm. So either she's, like, covering it up or, I don't know. She wants Mallory's to stop digging her nose around in places.
Yeah.
Maybe they're guilty of some sort of crime.
Wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
They're trying to keep it on the hush-hush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and, yeah. I have so many questions.
What? What now?
What if she said that to Teddy, knowing that Teddy would say it to Mallory,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it would, like, get under her skin?
Okay.
And they're trying to make her slip up.
To get her out of there?
I don't know, or something.
Or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But then they have an afternoon of playing.
They do.
And he goes out for quiet time, and Mallory once more stands outside his door. And there's another weird conversation. Mm-hmm. One-sided.
Yeah.
And this is bizarre. Okay.
Do you want me to read it again, or do you want to do it?
I don't care. I'll do it.
Okay.
So he's already in the middle of a conversation when she starts listening. Mm-hmm. And he says, or we could build a fort. Or play tag. No, I can't. I'm not allowed. They said I can't. I'm sorry, but I don't understand. Then he laughs like she's proposed something ridiculous. I guess we could try. How do we... Okay, right. Oh, it's cold! Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to go on? Okay. So now that we've read more, I'm like, I understand what this conversation is saying.
Yeah.
I feel like Anya is asking him to draw more. Mm-hmm. Like, she wants him to draw stuff that she acts out. And he's like, no, I can't.
I can't.
They told me I shouldn't. And she suggests maybe, like, what if I draw through you?
Uh-huh.
Or something.
And he's like, I don't understand. And she explains it more. And he's like, I guess we could try.
Yeah. And then it's cold.
Yeah.
Because she's entering his body.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's really creepy.
Yeah.
But he's drawing.
There's no more talking after that. And she's like, can hear the pencil scratching on the paper.
And he stays in there twice as long as normal.
2 whole hours instead of 1.
2 whole hours instead of 1.
Yeah.
And when he comes down, he acts like he has him drawing. He has, like, chalk all over his hands, or charcoal.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, it's fine. Nothing weird. Because...
He doesn't even say anything. She, like, presses him a little bit, and every time she asks him, no drawing today, he's just like, can I have some cheese? Mm-hmm. And he just completely avoids
What were you doing? Can I have some milk?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's avoiding it entirely.
It looks like he got pencil on him, and he's like, do you want to play Legos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so things seem pretty normal for a little while.
For a few days.
Yeah. And then, okay, this is also strange. After swimming again, freaking Mallory's in the shower.
Yeah, she's like rinsing.
Yeah, the outdoor shower that they have.
And Teddy comes over.
He's like,
Can I see your girl parts?
Can you see your girl parts?
Oh, can you see them?
Yeah. Can you see them? And she's like, how do you mean? And he's like, if you look down, can you see them? And she's like, I mean, it's hard to explain, Teddy, but not really.
Yeah. Oh, and before this, while they're in the pool, he, like, asks her about her nipples.
Oh, yeah. What are those?
Because you can see them. Yeah. She's like, well, when you get cold.
It happens. It's fine.
You have them, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And when she's like, no, I can't really see my bits, he's like, how do you know they're really there?
Yeah. She's like, no, they're definitely there.
What is happening? That's such a weird thing to ask. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And I wonder if, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a weird thing.
Very bizarre.
I don't know if it's connected anywhere else.
I don't know either.
Like, why is he suddenly interested in whether or not you can see your own parts?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
bizarre.
Maybe we'll find out.
But
she tells Caroline about it, and Caroline's like, I'm going to get him books about cunnilingus and anal sex.
Yeah. She gives him, like, science books about freaking intercourse. It's a whole thing. But
genderqueer expression, which is great.
Yeah, great. Inclusivity.
That's amazing.
Why at 5 years old? I mean, I guess no area for confusion if you have, like, facts on paper, I guess.
True, yeah.
But it's a lot. It seems a little too in-depth for a 5-year-old.
Yeah, for sure.
But the 2-hour quiet times become normal. Mm-hmm. And his room is always kind of smelling like pee.
Yeah, like real strong.
She decides to go snooping around in Teddy's room to see if there's any drawings in there, because he definitely has charcoal on his hands all the time, and fucking, she can hear him scritching away in there. Yeah. And she doesn't find anything in his room.
And she looks real in-depth. She's like, I was a drug addict once, so I know all of the good hiding spots.
I know where to find the stuff.
Yeah, and she doesn't find anything.
She's searching everywhere, doesn't find anything, and when she comes out, Teddy's like, where were you? Oh, wait, no. He's calling for her, and she decides
he's like,
to
I need toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, no, is that later? When she's putting the camera in there?
No, it's now.
Okay.
And she's still, like, trying to look through things as best as she can. And there's no drawings anywhere. She can't find it. Gets toilet paper, brings it to him. And she's like, wow, after this, I am being paranoid. I have no proof of anything. Like, there's actually nothing happening. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I'm just crazy.
But then she starts thinking about, like, the trash. Like, maybe he ditched the drawings because he doesn't want anyone to see them.
Yeah, and she says that, like, she didn't look in the... She wakes up Monday morning to the sound of the garbage man. And she's like, oh... The one spot I didn't think to check, the wastebasket in Ted's second floor office. Teddy has to walk right past it to get downstairs.
Yeah.
So she runs out and starts digging through the recycle bin. And she finds some friggin' drawings, dude.
Yeah. She finds some friggin' drawings.
She sure does.
And this shit, is really, really crazy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we've had these I'm a 5-year-old drawings for all of the book.
I mean,
so far.
the execution is definitely from a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
They're not great drawings.
Yeah.
The subject matter is obviously not something you would expect from a 5-year-old.
No, but it's like stick figures and stuff. But then the first of the drawings she finds, it's a hodgepodge of lines.
Yeah, it's kind of mumbo jumbo. But
It looks like there's
there's something hidden in there.
It looks like there's a face right here. Lips, nose, eye.
For sure.
There's random circles.
A whole bunch of lines from, like, I don't know. It just kind of looks like someone scribbling for the most part.
So I feel like, as we go on, they're all connected in some capacity. These pictures.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this looks like a wing.
Yeah.
In this first scrambled drawing.
Uh-huh.
What is that about? But then you move on to the second one, and it sort of starts becoming more clear.
More clear things. There's definitely people. That looks like a dude with a knife.
Yeah, a girl running. But also, what the goddamn hell is this? This is like a 4-legged creature with wings.
Yeah.
It has a creepy face, kind of. It's really hard to distinguish.
For sure.
But it definitely has 4 legs. And I didn't see that the first time I looked back, and I, like, went to look at it again, and I was like, what? Like, why does it look like a tiger with wings or something? Or like a lion with wings. They're clearly in the forest. The next picture, you can definitely see a bunny.
And a body.
A rabbit.
A girl.
And a body. And why does this guy have a weird pointed hat?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this cult shit? Is there cult shit going down, Sarah?
It's very possible. I thought that was like a sailboat.
Maybe that is a sailboat.
Could be a sailboat in a pool.
The pool does seem to be connected somehow. There's definitely a winged creature again.
Yeah, for sure.
What is the winged creature about? I want to know.
I'm sure we'll find out
eventually. The rabbit.
I'm still looking for a fucking little gingerbread man with a knife.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. But there's a man with a knife in this picture.
Yeah,
They start to get a little more advanced.
Yeah.
The next one
is a bunny. Again.
A large bunny.
Giant bunny. A tiny man with a something.
Looks like an axe or not an axe, but a pickaxe or a hammer or something. The forest, there's a moon. It's bizarre.
The next one, dude.
The next one.
The wing.
The wing is so detailed.
So detailed. So is the tree.
Yeah. So it starts to get, like, pretty advanced as these drawings go on.
Yeah.
And this one is wild. There's a wing, like, coming out from behind a tree.
That's really advanced.
Very
large wing.
Large wing. A tree that is, like, really detailed. And I haven't been able to pick out much more. A moon. There doesn't seem to be too much in this.
Is that like a face right there?
I thought about that too, but it looks real happy to be in this scene.
It sure does.
It's like a little smile. Little tiny circle smile face.
Yeah.
And then the
next one's real dark.
Progressively more advanced.
And creepy.
And the next one is just like a forest, shadowed forest. Lots of trees.
Yeah.
Darkness. But the one after that is just several
versions
of rabbits. One with like long teeth.
Long creepy teeth.
Long vampire teeth.
One that looks really fuzzy and cute. This one looks fucking neurotic.
He looks terrified.
This one looks like it's crying.
Yeah, and it looks dead. This one does.
Yeah, that one looks dead for sure. But this one, up in this corner.
Oh, yeah, he's real sad.
And then the one above that looks like it was drawn by a child.
And is running.
Yeah.
And then there's one that's just sitting pretty in the corner.
This one's so sad.
This one is so serious.
He looks sad to me.
He does look sad. And why does he have what looks like a sweater? A turtleneck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What's with all the rabbits?
I don't know, dude.
Are these like... I don't even know. I can't... If we're thinking about Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland, like, are these different representations of, like...
Oh, yeah, that one's definitely dead. He's got, like, blood coming out of his neck.
Yeah. What do all these rabbits mean?
Yeah. I don't. And then the next... Oh, my God.
Yeah, the next two pictures are wild. Done by seemingly a professional artist.
Yeah.
Not at all a
Not
5-year-old.
a 5-year-old. The next one is just flowers.
Yeah.
There's, like, 4 different kinds of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they look, again, like they were done by a professional.
Yeah, they're very detailed with charcoal, which I feel like is a really hard medium to work with.
Yeah, but then the one after that, y'all.
This
YouTube,
one?
look at that. YouTube, look. Just look at it.
Look at it, YouTube.
Are you freaking kidding me?
What the dang heck is that about?
Yeah.
So,
for the audio listeners, it is a girl who looks a lot like Anya. She's got long black hair. She's got white eyeballs and a very, like, anguished-looking face.
Yeah. And sort of down to her right, there's just, like, an open, screaming mouth.
Uh-huh. That's the left. Oh, you
Her
said her right.
Yeah. And that's okay.
And
then
below that is, like, a...
young girl
profile. She's got her eyes closed. Some shadows hitting.
Yeah.
But above the creepy girl with her mouth open and the white eyes, there's a eyeball. Like, with a really detailed eye. You can see, like, a hand.
Like
Just
a reflection of a hand in the
Yeah.
eyeball, perhaps. What's with the eye?
There's also, like, the hand here, but there's also a little hand over here if you look really closely. And it looks like she's, like, maybe trying to claw her way out of the ground.
Yeah. Or something.
And she looks like she's been crying blood.
Yeah. And the eyes. Like,
Yeah.
if her eyes are whited out, I imagine, like, the eye above her is what hers look like closely. But what is the hand about? And also, is the little girl down below daughter of Anya?
Oh, I think it's the same girl.
The same person?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
She doesn't look that young to me.
I feel like she looks younger than the other one.
Well, the other one's
I don't
dead,
know.
so...
This one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's dead.
But she looks like she's crawling out of something.
Well... Look at her eyes!
I get it, but maybe
me.
that's possession or something else.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know either, dude.
I don't know. But any freaking
That's
who.
the end of those pictures, though. Can
Really?
you freaking imagine pulling those out of the recycle bin?
From a 5-year-old,
Yeah.
you know, thanks.
What the
I
heck?
literally cannot.
What the heckin'?
What the heckins? But then, guys, after these crazy-ass pictures, she is like, okay, there's absolutely no way that Teddy drew them.
Yeah.
Because they are done by a professional.
Yeah.
They're really, really good.
Yeah.
And literally the other day, he handed me stick figures. Okay, so what's this about? She's getting sus.
Yeah.
And then she starts, like, speculating maybe Caroline drew them or Ted, and they're, like, trying to mess with her.
Mm-hmm.
Or something.
Yeah.
Like, how did he suddenly become an artist overnight? But she decides to go do some research or to read.
Yeah, and she goes to, like, a little coffee shop, right?
Yeah, and
Or
has a few books about parenting. And, like, dealing with paranormal kid situations.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees Adrian there.
Yeah.
Reading Star Wars something.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, can I join you?
Yeah, let me sit with you.
And she tells him everything.
Yeah.
And he does not, like... I don't know. He reacts in a way that's, like, helpful.
Yeah, like, he doesn't seem skeptical. He believes her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She's like, you think Teddy's possessed? And she's like, no, I really don't think it's that. But I feel like Andy's, working through him. Like, she wants to borrow his hand. And...
Yeah, because she describes the drawings as, like, someone trying to, because they progressively got better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
She said something like it looked like someone was trying to learn how to use someone else's hand. Yeah. Like, the first one was sloppy as fuck because she was like, oh God, I don't know how to do this.
I have not used a 5-year-old's hand before.
I haven't used a hand in a long time.
That's true.
I'm dead. I've been dead 80 years.
Yeah. And he's like, well, okay, that's weird. And she talks about how she can't find any information on Annie and asks him about it. And he's like, oh, yeah, we've heard the stories. You know, we've kept clear.
Yeah.
And says that his mom works at the library. And he'll ask her to do some digging for her.
Yeah, because they have, like, public records and stuff.
Yeah.
That maybe aren't necessarily online. He also, at this point, like, brings up a athlete that goes to Penn State, and she's like, who's that? And he's like, oh, I thought you guys would know each other, and that's weird.
Yeah.
And she struggles every time she sees him. Like, she wants to tell him the truth about who she really is, but she's like, I'll just wait until we have all this figured out, and then I'll tell him.
Yeah.
Like, she keeps putting it off.
Right. I wonder if that's actually true. What if she is that?
What?
Like, what if her actual self that isn't fucking
is actually an athlete
at Penn State?
Yeah.
Where the experiment was happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, she plays it off well enough. She's like, Penn State's a big college. Like, you know, whatever.
Whatever.
And then he starts asking about if she has any siblings. And she tells him she has one. Mm-hmm. But
her sister's dead.
Yeah. A mention of her funeral was brought up once or twice. But she doesn't tell him that.
Yeah.
Talks about her mom. Both of whom are gone from her life. Like, her mom sort of cut her off when she was deep in addiction. Her sister's dead. And she just, like, keeps sort of digging herself a hole in this.
Yeah.
Telling him lies. But when they get back to her little house, the porch light's dead. The light bulb is out.
Yeah.
And Adrian, like, stands and waits for her to get inside to make sure everything's okay. And as she's entering the cottage, like, she unlocks and checks and there's nothing there. And so he leaves. But as she's going into the cottage, her foot
freaking steps on some papers.
Kicks a rock. Kicks rocks. And it's holding down some new pictures.
Yeah. 3
new pictures.
3 of them. And the first one, dude.
The first one, dude. Well, it's really good. Again,
back to real detailed, like...
real fancy, beautiful drawings. No, not beautiful. Professional is a better word.
Professional, yeah.
But this one in, like, the foreground is a limp hand.
Laying in the grass.
Laying in the grass, and a figure behind the hand digging a hole. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like there's any Easter eggs in here. It's just is what it is.
I'm looking at this, like, real dark
spot I think
right
it's
here,
just
wondering.
dirt being chucked, maybe.
Oh, that would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. But still ominous, nonetheless.
Very.
And then the next picture.
Next one, dude.
It's bad.
It's real bad. First of all,
yeah.
I just want to say that dude that's dragging her looks like he's naked.
He does.
Like, you can see all the muscles in his back. Maybe he's got pants on.
Or maybe not. He's just going through the forest murdering naked.
He very well could be naked.
But
anyways, he's dragging a woman's body.
Yeah, this is very, very reminiscent to the first picture Teddy drew of her being drugged.
Yeah.
But done well.
Yeah. Done by a not 5-year-old.
Yes.
And again, I don't really see any Easter eggs there.
No. And the third picture is from the perspective of the bottom of a hole.
Yeah.
Looking up out of it.
And there's a man leaning over the edge.
And this
also a bunny?
A bunny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking over the edge.
Yeah. So this picture then suggests that Anya was alive when he started burying her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's the one trying it, right? Unless it's just like, I'm a ghost, I know what happened.
Could be. It could be. However, the, like, looking like she's climbing out of a hole.
Earlier.
Climbing out of the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe he buried her alive. And Teddy said that the man buried her or put her in a hole or something, but I guess she got out.
Yeah, he did.
So. Maybe it's just like a metaphor, though, like her spirit climbing out of the hole and coming to possess little 5-year-old boys.
His Anya?
What?
Is Caroline Anya? I know it's been 80 years, but like maybe some weird magical situation. Is there a real Anya somewhere? More than just a spirit?
I'm confused about your Caroline theory.
I don't know, and it's probably very wrong. Maybe not Caroline, but like, I don't know. Caroline, like, I don't know, man. Or like, is Anya reincarnate or something? I don't
Why
know.
Caroline?
I don't know. She's weird and suspicious as hell.
Yeah, but so is Ted.
Okay, Ted could be Anya, I guess. I just was going the route of woman. But maybe Anya's like, no, I want to be a man this life.
Well, maybe Caroline is Anya, and Ted is only weird and suspicious because he's married to a demon.
And she's his handler. And
kidding.
by what I mean by that now is like she's in control here because she's a scary demon.
I don't think that Caroline is Anya.
I don't really either. I'm just like, does Anya exist still more than just in a spiritual way? I don't know.
Maybe Mitzi is Anya.
Man, that's a better life than being buried. But the next morning,
Yeah.
she goes and sees Teddy, and he's like, welcome to my restaurant.
Yeah.
And feeds her a bunch of plastic food. It's very cute.
Yeah, it is very cute. They play restaurant for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Caroline gets a call from the principal. Excuse me, I had a burp. I'm sorry. Gets a call from principal. And then they go and start playing, pretend out in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about goblins and how they can't climb trees.
Yeah.
Just being a kid, kind of. And
she brings up the pictures.
The pictures. And he's like, I didn't draw any pictures.
Yeah, he's like,
what are you talking about?
I don't draw Anya anymore.
And he's like, I didn't do it. She's like, I'm not upset. It's okay. You left him on the porch.
But I didn't do it.
Uh-huh. And he's like, can we just freaking play Enchanted Forest? God.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it.
Yeah. She thinks that, like, maybe it was just bad timing.
Yeah. But
because we're playing a game.
Uh-huh. But he doesn't seem to have any recollection.
Yeah. No.
Perhaps. And then later that night, Russell calls and wants to take her out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Mm-hmm.
And he's worried about her being tired.
Yeah.
And not sleeping. And her training, like, how it will suffer. And she says...
Why is he so worried about her training? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. And he asked her about meetings. Like, she hasn't been going to NA meetings because she doesn't feel like she needs them.
Yeah.
And he's like...
I don't think she... I don't know. She said in the beginning, like, when she first got there, that she tried a couple meetings, but, like, everything just felt really gentrified. Like, it's all...
And it was a bunch of old people.
Old people.
Yeah. Like, she couldn't fit in and feel seen. And then she's like, well, I think I'm fine on my own. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And she talks, like, I'm fine. I don't need it. I have a friend in Adrian.
And he freaks out a little bit. Like, it's too soon for you to start dating. It's only been 18 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, it's just a friend. God, Dad, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him how she hasn't said any of her history to him. Mm-hmm. And they had a really quiet night.
He lectures her a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
And tells her that he invited her here because Caroline called him and is worried about her.
Saying that she's acting strange.
Yeah.
And now Russell's suspicious that friggin' Mallory is using.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, well, you were talking about ghosts and how their son is possessed. And she's like, no, dude,
you don't understand.
Never said that. You're misunderstanding. Relax. And he's worried about her talking to Mitzi. And she's like, it's nothing. My God, relax.
Yeah.
And they have dessert. And he asks her about Ted. And he's like, is he a little too handsy?
Yeah.
Why would he ask that?
I don't know.
Unless he's already suspicious of Ted. Like, maybe there's something that's gone on in the past with Ted.
It could be. And maybe that's why Caroline was standing watching them that night.
Uh-huh.
Because she's like, bitch, you're not going to cheat on me again.
Or
with this mistress.
Creepy, and I'm trying to protect this girl, maybe. Maybe she just is married to him and doesn't know how to get out of it, but he's kind of a big creep.
Maybe.
And is touchy and handsy.
Could be.
I don't know, making shit up. We're talking about it.
Yeah, well, they go on to kind of argue back and forth a little bit. He's like, she's like, you need to chill out. I'm fine. And he's like, no, I'm worried about you. Why are you shaking?
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what, dude? I'll take a fucking drug test for you if you don't believe that I'm sober. Mm-hmm. And so they go inside, and she takes a drug test.
Yeah. And she's talking about how, like, she's shaky because she's nervous about going home.
Is she? I thought she said something like, I just ate fucking bunch of sugar. I ate a freaking cheesecake, and I haven't eaten sugar in a while. I feel like
it's both, you know? It doesn't really matter. But I feel like she's also just nervous to be alone in her little cottage these days.
I guess she does.
But also doesn't want to tell him any of that.
In her head, yeah, she says she's nervous to go home, but she tells him, yeah, okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I thought I remembered it. But yeah, she shows him the stun gun. He's like, why in the world would you need that? She does the drug test and it's clean. Uh-huh. And he's like, well, hot damn. I figured that were true. And he's leaving for a couple weeks. And after he leaves, she finds
friggin' drawings magneted to her fridge.
Yeah. So someone was in her place.
Yeah.
Which was very much locked when she got there.
Yeah.
And she, like, checks the freaking hole in the floor and stuff.
Uh-huh. It's still nailed shut.
It's still nailed shut. And the door's still locked, obviously.
Yep.
But
the first drawing.
Yeah.
Is a hot air balloon.
It's a hot air balloon.
Which we saw in many pictures before.
Yeah, from Teddy.
Yeah.
It's just floating.
It is. It's up in the sky.
There doesn't seem to be anything amiss.
No bunnies or anything.
Yeah.
No and little gingerbread men with knives.
No gingerbread knife men.
Yep.
And then it goes to a couple of, like, serene pictures. One of, I'm assuming Anya.
Assumingly Anya, yeah.
Painting a picture of said air balloon.
And the air balloon's up in the sky above her.
And it's floating, and she's painting it. Mm-hmm. And then the next one zooms out a little bit.
Yeah. And there's a child with a teddy bear.
Whose face is warped and weird.
It is very concerning.
Uh-huh.
And there's also a bunny next to him.
A little stuffed bunny.
And they're having a tea party.
Oh,
and there's a little girl. Did I say that?
I think so, but there is a little girl. Yeah. To reiterate, there's a girl.
Hey, just so you know, there's a girl.
And it looks like the hot air balloon is on his way out. His way. It's a boy. It's headed out. But Anya, assumingly, is painting still. Yeah. And it's just like a nice little serene. They're in a, I don't know, prairie.
Sure.
Just chilling.
A clearing.
But she yanks it all off her fridge, and she starts thinking, like, okay, what are the options here?
Yeah.
How did they possibly end up in my freaking little apartment?
I would like to know, too.
She's like, okay, first, could be the Maxwells. But what in the world? Why in the world?
Hey.
What?
Look at the right side of the drawing. The last drawing. Like, I don't know. Right here. Does that look like a fucking face to you?
It kind of does, yeah.
Like a really creepy, wide-eyed face? Or am I just tripping?
No, it does look like a face. I'm trying to make out the features, but yeah.
I see like an eye right here. One nose hole here, sunken in cheekbones.
Oh, yeah.
Mouth.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a creepy-ass face.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
So, in last picture, there might be a weird demon in the corner.
Or I'm just really, really reaching.
No. I don't know. I could kind of see it. And it seems out of place with the rest of the sky.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that way before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alright, cool.
But any freaking who? She starts to, like, theorize as to how these could have ended up in her little house.
Yeah. She's like,
Maxwell's.
I think this is when she's like, the Maxwells might be fucking with me.
But also, why?
Why?
What reason would they have?
Yeah.
Could have been Teddy.
Teddy could have stole their keys.
Snuck out.
Snuck in.
Stuck them on the fridge.
Yeah.
But, like, also, why?
Or.
And how could he have done three-dimensional drawings in a matter of days?
Right.
And then she's like, or maybe it's Anya.
Or it's Anya.
And she made her way in.
But how did she bring the friggin' paintings?
Somehow carrying them.
Charcoal drawings.
Yeah. And she's like, and I know it's wild, but I feel like that third option is the most realistic in all of this. Like, Anya's messing with me.
Yeah.
And she just needs to prove it. So, the next freaking day, man, she goes and finds a baby monitor.
She sure does.
In the basement. Yeah. And while Teddy's busy doing something.
Pooping.
Oh, that's right. Yes, they go number 2. While he's doing that, she sets it up in his room, like, stuffed in between a bunch of stuffed animals. Mm-hmm. And so he can't see it. Yeah. Because she wants to catch what's going on during his quiet time.
Oh, I just got a chill.
I know. This part's wild. This chapter's crazy. But she hides it and, like, leaves and goes and plugs in the TV, the bed TV. Yeah. And when Teddy re-enters his bedroom, he just seems to, like, be getting acclimated to draw on his bed. He gets all of his supplies. Mm-hmm. And it starts, like, you know, having a conversation again, or no? I don't think he does. Oh, yeah, he's saying, like, careful. Oh, no. First he says, hello. And while chuckling says he's getting his pencils ready. Yeah. And the pencils are for drawing. But when he's having this conversation, I should slow down, okay? Yeah. He starts having this conversation, and the one-sided thing, he'll talk, but then while there's the pause in between, the monitor starts freaking out. Like, it's staticky as hell. Yeah. Starts sort of jumping in and out of the picture. Like, the picture freezes and comes back. Yeah. And when he starts getting ready to draw, it really starts freaking out. Yeah. The picture does. And then, suddenly, the static gets louder. She starts hearing, like, thumping upstairs, and there's an image that flashes of Teddy, like, convulsing on the bed. Yeah.
Yeah. So she runs up there naturally.
Yeah, naturally. Like, holy shit.
She can hear it, too.
Yeah, thump, thump, thump. Yeah. Above her. Thump, thump, thump. She's, like, in the room below his. And, well, she tries to open the door and it's locked.
It's locked.
Or, like, at least held closed, I think she says. Like, it's not necessarily locked, but she can't open it.
Or, yeah, it's stuck or it's locked or something is holding it closed. So she starts yelling.
She starts yelling
banging on the door.
Yeah.
She tries to kick it open to no avail. Uh-huh. And she...
And eventually...
falls or something?
Well, eventually she goes down on the floor because she can see through the, like, gap in the floor between the door and the floor.
Oh, she tries to smash the door in with her shoulder and it hurts so much she sinks to the floor. And then she realizes she can see through the crack.
See through the crack.
So she lies down and gets punched in the face by... the smell of ammonia.
Yeah, like pee
but, like,
scent.
really, really, really fucking
really
strong.
And Teddy seems unaffected by it. But the door, like, lets her in. Okay.
Yeah, she hears the mechanism for the doorknob click.
Yeah, and that's when she scrambles to her feet, enters, and is met with the extremely pungent scent. And Teddy is just sitting cross-legged, seemingly unaffected, drawing away.
The smell hits her before she goes in.
Oh, okay.
It's up here.
All right. But it's extra bad when she gets in there.
Yeah. And Teddy's unaffected.
Yeah, and he's just, like, drawing ravenously is not the right word. Feverishly. Yeah. Real quick.
She yells at him.
And she starts yelling.
Like, Teddy!
And he will not respond.
Okay?
And his eyes are rolled back. Yeah. In his head.
She puts her hand on his shoulder and he looks up at her and his eyes are completely white, like in the pictures.
Yeah. And she...
And he just keeps drawing. He's not even like... His eyes aren't looking down at the picture and he's looking up at her and he's still just fucking drawing.
And she says his body is, like, super rigid. Like, normally he's, he's floppy.
Hot.
He's hot as hell.
Yeah, like
rigid,
super hot.
Really strained against his muscles.
Yeah.
And suddenly he, like, snaps back into it and he's really confused. He's like, Mallory? Like, what the heck is going on? And he does not know. She asks what he's doing. He's like, I don't know. And she's like, you were drawing. I was watching you. You were freaking drawing. Your whole body was shaking like you were having a seizure.
And he's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And she sort of starts... she's real freaked out. Obviously. Yeah. He seems apologetic, confused as
he's,
hell.
like, confused and scared.
Doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And she's
yelling at him.
Yeah.
Even though she's, like, not pissed. She just wants to know what's going on.
And get his attention and be like, what the hell? I thought you were dying and in danger. Mm-hmm. And so she looks at the pictures.
Yeah. And the first one.
It is the little girl.
It is.
She's was in the last one.
Yep. Pointing at a bunny rabbit.
There's a bunny. It's not a stuffed bunny. It's a real bunny looking like. Bunny.
And there's, in the foreground is like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
That looks As if it's looking at the girl.
Uh-huh.
Like, just from the perspective.
Yeah, and there's, like, a pile of other things on the ground.
I think it's the tea party.
Oh, okay.
On the ground.
That makes sense.
So the bunny that looked like a stuffed bunny that was sitting next to the teddy bear in the first drawing where they were having the tea party.
Yeah.
Was a real bunny, apparently.
And it's, like, sniffing around. It's up on its hind legs doing something. And it definitely looks like there's a face again on the right side here. Like, nose, mouth situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Just in the sky. Mm-hmm. That's ominous and weird.
If this book turns like a religious fucking shit at the end, I'm gonna be pissed.
I would be surprised, but perhaps.
I just am thinking about the things with the wings.
Yeah.
And the faces in the sky.
But the thing with the wing also looked like a lion with wings.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But then the next picture is just a silhouette.
It's like a close-up on the bunny.
He's still on his hind legs, looking and sniffing around.
It really looks like maybe, like, the bunny from the girl's perspective.
Yeah.
The little girl in the first drawing.
Yep. And then the one after that is seemingly the girl, like, running away from the bunny.
Yeah, and the bunny's looking right at you, the reader.
Uh-huh.
While the girl's running away.
Off into the moonlight.
Yeah.
And I don't really see anything suspicious.
I don't either. I don't see any tiny gingerbread men with knives
or
faces in the sky.
I don't think Anya would sprinkle those in, but perhaps.
You never know.
But she's like, what the hell? Like, Teddy, what the heck's going on? He still has no idea. And she starts to realize that when Anya is drawing through him, like, he probably has no idea what's going on. And she interrupted, like, mid-session. Mm-hmm. So he's especially disoriented and confused.
Yeah, and he says to her, I know Anya isn't real. I know she's not really here. Sometimes I dream we're drawing together. But when I wake up, there are never any pictures.
So she must keep him entranced and gets rid of them.
Yeah.
But also, why?
And then he flings the sketch pad across the room and says there shouldn't be any pictures, we just dream them.
We dream together.
Yeah. It's very weird.
So he must feel like this possession is just a dream. I mean, obviously. Mm-hmm. But also, Anya was so persistent about wanting him to give the pictures to Mallory originally. So why is she, like, not doing that anymore? You'd think that regardless of the rules of him not drawing for Mallory anymore, if Anya wanted her to have them, she would give them to her.
Well, she is giving them to her. She left them on her porch. She left them on her fridge.
Oh, okay, you're right. Well, but then, like, the trash situation, ever since Teddy was told not to draw for her anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know about the trash ones. Maybe she didn't want Mallory to have those. For some reason.
I don't know.
Too many clues.
Well, the trash ones were, like, her practicing.
So that's like, probably why. She was like, I'm just perfecting my art.
These aren't ready to be seen.
Yeah. And then he puts his right hand in his right hand in Mallory's. Yeah. And it's covered in charcoal. And she says, I know for a fact this kid is a lefty. Yeah. So, clearly, I mean, obviously, we knew that it's not fucking him, but confirmation.
For sure. Yeah.
So.
It's wild. Yeah. And then later that night, Adrian comes. Mm-hmm. And they hang out. They're talking about all of this. And he says that the pictures smell. They're really stinky. Yeah. She's showing him the new ones. And she's like, well, that's just like how Teddy's bedroom smells. Mm-hmm. It's pee. And he's like, okay, listen, that's not it at all. Yeah. Last summer, I was doing like a cleanup job.
Yeah. And they found like a dead deer that they had to clean up.
And he says it smells like that.
Yeah. It smells like death.
His room and pictures smell like death. Yeah. I feel like that's a very distinct smell.
Yeah. You would think. I wouldn't think that death smells like pee.
No, it doesn't. I can tell you that much. Yeah. So, that's weird. But apparently it's death smell. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah. And everyone just keeps telling her to tell the parents. Yeah. And she's like, No, you don't understand.
They literally won't listen to me, okay?
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't prove any of this. It sounds insane. I need real proof. I need to do something here.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't wait for your mom to get the information. Like, I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Is kind of what it feels like. And he's like, well, okay, I can stay with you. I'll sleep on the floor, like, to make sure you're safe. And one of the rules when she first started the job was no sleepovers.
Yeah.
She's like, so that can't happen. And he's very much trying to be here for her. I feel like Adrian got attached real quickly, and it's super nice. Kind of sus, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, maybe you should leave. Get out of here. And she's like, well, I can't do that. I came here for freaking Teddy.
Well, yeah, he offers her, like, his parents have a small apartment, and he's like, you could stay there.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I gotta be there for Teddy, dude.
Yeah. And he seems to really like her. He wants to help her out.
Yeah,
and
he's very sweet.
She, like, feels some guilt about him not knowing actually the truth about her.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he leaves, Caroline's outside by the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, he's cute.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I hope I didn't scare him away.
Suspicious.
Suspicious.
Super sus.
Considering
Why are you
she
out
was just
there?
sitting there being silent.
She had a book.
What would have... I know, but what would have scared him away?
Yeah. Your presence alone. Anya.
Demon.
But she, like, thanks Adrian for believing her. I feel like he's such... But why is he, like, so corroborating? Without question. He's like, yeah, totally. All this makes sense. Yeah, no big deal.
Right.
I'll help you.
Right. Maybe he's Anya.
Everyone's Anya. Surprise. The whole town that's fake is actually Anya a bunch of times. But anyway, she starts talking to Caroline, and I skipped ahead a little bit, and she's like, he's cute. Maybe you should, like, get to know him more.
Yeah.
And
she's like, maybe I will.
Yeah.
Oh, she tells him to invite him to over to, like, have a lunch.
Yeah.
Pool party.
Get to know him and hang out.
Yeah.
And she sees that Caroline's reading something with Eve, in the Garden of Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Eden, I should say. And she asks if it's the Bible, and she says, no, it's it's poetry, Paradise Lost. I used to love it back in college, but now I can't get through a single page. I don't have the patience anymore. It's like motherhood ruined my attention span. And she's like, well, I got Harry Potter if you want to read it.
I'll be like, okay.
But,
yes, please.
Yeah. But then as she heads off to bed, this is the one and only page I marked with the quote tab.
Mm-hmm.
She goes inside the house, and I make the long walk across the yard to my cottage. Once again, I can hear footsteps padding around in Hayden's Glen. More deer or drunk teenagers or dead people, who knows? But the sound doesn't frighten me anymore. Because I've decided Adrian is right. I don't have to be afraid of Anya. She's not trying to hurt me. She's not trying to scare me. She's trying to tell me something. And I think it's time to bypass the middleman. And so, what the heck does she decide to do?
Well, she's got to talk to Mitzi. She wants to do a freaking seance.
Yeah.
Gathering, whatever Mitzi calls it.
Uh-huh.
It's a seance.
Yeah, for sure.
So she invites Adrian over.
Yep.
For a pool party.
Uh-huh.
Pool party.
Pool party.
And they have this plan that Adrian's gonna watch Teddy for an hour while she, like, sneaks over to her cottage and
does a seance,
just casual.
No big deal. Plays with their freaking Ouija board.
Yeah.
And, so she sets Adrian and Teddy up and goes off into the cottage, and Mitzi has, like, saged the shit out of it and, like, has candles everywhere.
The windows are all blacked out.
And
Not that I don't think there's that many windows.
Yeah,
there's, like,
she has
two,
a couple.
But
and it's just a vibe.
Yeah.
And she sits down, and Mitzi, like, gives her the briefing of how to use the Ouija board. And, as Mitzi gets going, like, hello, spirits, are you here? What's good?
Yeah.
Mallory.
She starts to feel a presence behind her.
And, like, a weight on her hand.
Yeah, and I swear that she says she, like, feels hair falling
Tickling
over her shoulder and tickling her.
And as we know, Anya has long black hair.
Yeah. So.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
Can you imagine?
I just got chilly willies.
You just said you can't.
I can't.
Can you?
No, I can't.
Right. Well.
But Anya.
Yeah.
Starts moving the, whatever it's called.
Planchette.
That's
on
the
Ouija
board.
On a Ouija board. I don't know if it's actually a Ouija board, but
it is a Ouija board.
Yeah.
In real life?
Yeah.
It's called a planchette in here?
No, in real life.
Both. I think it's also mentioned in here that it's a planchette.
It doesn't matter.
Nonetheless.
That's what it's called, okay?
Semantics. But Anya just starts, like, flying through really random letters.
Very random. But I feel like maybe...
I'm like, I want to decode them?
I know.
But they are really random, and, Mitzi keeps trying to ask, like, who are you? Are you Anya? There's, like, a yes and no option, and she won't go to any of that. Mm-hmm. But she's just going through these letters.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. We skipped a part. Sorry.
We did?
I got sidetracked.
Oh, it's okay.
Before they go and do the fucking thing.
Oh.
The seance.
There's more.
Yeah. Before they start, there's some new drawings that were slipped under the front door.
What page?
It's 177 is right before them.
Oh, Jesus.
I'd awakened to find 3 new ones on the floor. Okay, so this was earlier in the day. She woke to find them as if they'd been slipped under her door. And Mitzi asks to see them all.
I don't know how I also missed this. Because I was going down the pages.
But...
Oh, I stopped looking at the pages. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
But
the
first one is man with pickaxe and a shovel. In the ground next to him. In the forest.
Yeah, what's
Very
up
dark.
with that pickaxe, though, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. What are you pickaxing?
I don't know.
What are you picking with your axe? Perhaps.
Brains.
And the next one is the painting of the hot air balloon from earlier.
But it's nighttime. And the stool
that Anya was sitting on
is knocked over.
It's knocked over.
Assumingly Anya, anyways.
Yeah, what we assume to be. Which, I'm like, okay. Was she, like, painting in the night and taken?
Right.
And then the last one. What?
Was that her that we saw running away from the bunny? Because the little girl was sitting watching her paint the bunny.
Maybe the little girl's still in the field behind that scene? Behind the bunny?
Yeah.
And Anya's running?
Yeah.
And just leaving her daughter there?
How do we know it's her daughter? We don't.
Who's the little girl?
It could be anyone.
I guess that's true. And then the final picture.
Interesting.
So I think it is the daughter. I feel like, okay, there's the profile of a woman with long black hair, and it looks more like a woman than a child.
Yeah, for sure.
On the right. Behind the creepy bear with the distorted face.
And there's a beach ball all of a sudden. So, pool.
Pool!
Pool hint.
The pool, man. The pool is important.
Yeah.
The bunny is a stuffed animal again. It's not a real bunny.
Yeah. Yeah! What the fuck, dude?
The tea party items are still there, and it looks like the little girl is run into the clearing ahead.
Yeah. I mean, and she's not necessarily running. She could just be walking.
Yeah, it just looked like run from the last one. Maybe like a merry run, though. She's not scared.
Yeah, like,
I'm a little girl. I'm running. Why is the bunny a stuffed animal again? And there's definitely a beach ball. That's very smart of you, and I didn't notice it before.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about the pool before today, so all these things are leading to pool, guys. But Anya's, like, looking ominously over to the side. It's just a profile of her.
Yeah.
But there's nothing crazy otherwise. What? What?
What if Anya
Uh-huh.
has been driven mad by the creepy, haunted bunny?
Maybe.
Stuffed bunny. And her daughter didn't actually get taken. She just walked away one day. She's like, Mom, you're crazy. That's my new theory.
The ghost is actually possessing a stuffed animal bunny. There was a creepy, like, fanged bunny. What is with the bunny?
I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
God, I need to know.
Was the winged creature a bunny, not a lion?
Maybe. It
A
had
winged
4 legs.
bunny.
It just looked like the stature.
Bunnies have 4 legs?
Well, I know, but it just looked like the posture of a large 4-legged animal.
Well,
that
could have been a bunny.
Maybe. Anyway, after she shows Mitzi all these drawings, then they start the seance, and then she feels Anya behind her, and then she's like, oh,
letters. Oh my God. Yeah.
And, Anya's spitting out weird-ass letters, and, like, part of me wants to look at them and try to play a game of decode, but, you know.
Yeah.
That might be a lot right now. She first does I-G-E, and then it moves to N and X and O. Mm-hmm. And Mitzi, through all this, is like, Mallory, you're moving it. Stop it. It's you. And And then it moves to LVAJXS.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that right now, but I very well might.
Yeah.
Maybe
For
after
sure.
we're done, we can try to decode and be spies. But then anyway, Mitzi snaps out of it and is like, or pulls her hand away. And she's like, I knew you were doing it. I watched you, Mallory. What the heck?
What the heck?
What the dang heck? And she was like, dude, it was Anya guiding me. Shit.
Uh-huh.
She also hears the boys outside playing hide and seek. And Adrian's like counting down.
Yeah.
And then Teddy comes running into the freaking house.
He sure does.
And Mitzi's like, hey, so check it out. This is a spirit board, Teddy. In the right hands, it's a good tool for communication to speak with the dead. And Teddy's like, really? Interesting. And Mallory, of course, is like, get out of here.
Out.
No, nothing's happening. It's nothing. It's just a silly game.
We're
Don't
just
worry
playing.
about it. It's not real. And Adrian comes in and is like, so sorry. And Mitzi at the end is still pissed. And she's like, I've used this board 100 times. It's never acted that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so she big mad, storms off. She's like, I'm
storms
not helping
out.
you again. Don't ask me for that shit.
Yeah.
And she tells Adrian that Anya was just here. And, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They chase around. And Adrian asks if she's all right. And she's like, I mean, I guess I just hope Teddy doesn't tell his parents. But I'm pretty sure he will.
I am sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's the last line of the chapter, too.
Oh. Got it.
But I'm also pretty sure.
I am also positive.
But that's where we end off for this section, guys.
Yeah, I did.
Which is kind of nuts.
I know. I'm real excited to finish this book.
I know. I want to write all those letters down in one place and look at them.
I do too. Try to.
Yeah, do one of the
Anagram?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ambigrams. Anyway, guys, what the heck?
Yeah, what the heck?
We have a lot of theories. Do you have theories?
I need to know.
Do you think any of our theories sound valid?
Do we sound actually insane?
We might.
It's very possible.
Kind of feel like there's a lot of
hippies over here.
Come on, Matrix.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's something behind that.
There's gotta be.
There's
because
gotta
it was
be.
such a, brushed over in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's gotta be important.
And it's weird that Russell's like, no, it's fake. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fake.
Are you
Don't worry
glitching?
about it. Are you glitching?
Yeah.
Please.
Come on.
Come on, guys. What do you think? Is there any weight behind that? Now that we've said it, are you like, oh, revelation?
Come on.
Because shit. And also the pool's gotta be something.
It's gotta be something.
What the dang heck is the bunny about? I
The
have
bunny.
questions.
What's up with those little tiny murdering gingerbread men?
Gingerbread man. I wonder if they're just representing guy with knife.
Could be.
But I guess
Why would he draw
guy
him so
also has
tiny?
pickaxe, so it wasn't a knife. But there was also a knife man. Are there multiple guys involved? Are they experiment guys?
Dude.
Is it a weird cult of murder guys?
Wait. What if all of this is what happened? I have the chills right now.
Me too.
What if all of this is what happened to her when she didn't come out from the experiment?
Oh my.
The drawings are actually what happened to her.
What if
not
Mallory
Anya.
is Anya?
Yeah. What if Anya was the one who went into this fucking experiment? I have so many chills.
Me too.
Ew.
Me too. What if it is what happened to her?
Dude.
I'm shook.
Dude.
It seems like there's multiple guys. They have different weapons.
Yeah.
And it was like 4 dudes on the panel or something.
Yeah.
Man, I can't right now.
So many theories. I need to finish this book right now.
I do too, but I can't. Guys, okay, hear me out. Read the second half for next week.
Yeah.
And before you read the second half, hopefully you've stopped. You might have read the whole thing and you know every answer.
Very
You're like,
possible.
you guys are dumb. But if you've only read the first half, drop your theories.
Yeah,
Please.
Please.
I want to hear more craziness.
I know.
Come on. This is wild. Wild.
Danielle.
Yeah.
Who needs to calm the fuck down for you this week?
Oh, shit. That's a good question. I feel like I do. I'm shook by all of this information that we are making up. I think Russell, maybe?
That's what I was was gonna say.
Oh my god, are we the same person? Yeah, Russell.
Yeah,
and
sure.
only because my speculation. I feel like he hasn't been like outright creepy.
No, not at all.
But because now I don't trust him.
I don't either. I didn't trust him from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like had a feeling
when
we were first introduced to him.
I want to go back to that part because I was like, all right, cool. He seems fine. I'm
sure that he did. I just was.
Something about him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I just got a vibe.
Yeah.
I could also say that the friggin' bunnies need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, and Anya. Come on, Anya, relax.
I mean, I feel like Anya's just trying to, like,
tell her story.
Tell someone what happened to her.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether it be she's trying to tell herself what happened to her.
Yeah.
Or...
It's kind of giving me the Haunting of Maddie Claire.
Yeah.
Where, like,
she just needs someone to, like, know.
Find out her secrets so she can be at peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
it's a simulation, and it's a weird cult, and this is actually Mallory.
And they're just trying to drive her to madness, like Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, my God, I can't.
So many theories.
I cannot wait to talk to you next week.
I know.
I can't wait to text you and be like, holy shit.
I know. We can't talk about it before podcast.
I know that. Though. I know. But we always send each other weird cryptic messages like, that was a really good ending. Or like, oh my God, I can't believe that shit. Or we were kind of right. I won't say that.
Or just, dude.
Yeah. Who needs to calm the fuck down in your eyes, guys? Yeah. What do you think?
Please, let us know.
Yeah.
If you have read the whole book and really know who needs to calm the fuck down, don't spoil it for us.
Do not.
I'll murder you. I won't. That's on the internet.
That's aggressive. I can take
Settle
it out.
down, Sarah.
But anyway,
I'll get you.
Yeah. Thank you so freaking much for listening and for watching if you're watching YouTube, folks.
We had a ton of fun this week.
We sure did. This is fun for us. Holy cool. I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
It's a good pick. So I'm glad we're branching out. And please subscribe or follow on whatever platform you're listening or watching on.
Leave us a rating if you're listening on a podcast platform.
It would help greatly.
Absolutely.
And you know what, friends? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, you can find us on TikTok and Insta and YouTube as Books and Cranes Podcast.
Yeah.
Go subscribe. Give us some love.
Please.
And,
happy reading.
Happy reading, friends. And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
See you next week.
Okay.
We need to tell them what we're reading next week.
Well, we're finishing this book.
Yeah.
Chapters 16 through the end.
Say it.
We're reading chapter 16 through whatever is the last chapter.
I am certain.
I don't want to see anything. That's a problem.
I can look. I'm really good at ignoring words.
Well, mostly pictures is more why I stop myself. The pictures are a problem in this book when I try to flip through. My husband definitely looked through all of the pictures through the end of the book. And he's like, I think I know what happens. I'm like, it cannot be that straightforward just to gather from the pictures.
I mean,
unless it is. But it feels too complicated.
28?
Okay.
Question mark?
Chapter 16 through 28. Do not look at words.
I'm not.
I don't want it to spoil you to spoil it for yourself. I'm concerned for your well-being.
Yeah, it's 28.
Okay, chapters 15 through 28, my dude.
16
through 28, my dudes. Finish the book. And we're excited to talk about it.
Okay, bye.
All right, well, bye.
Goodbye.